Welcome everybody to Talk That Talk, where we have unfiltered, unscripted, uncomfortable conversation.
Hello, my name is Quan Mitchell. I'm the head band director at Evan E. Worthing Early College High School. We've been cordially invited to the National 4th of July Parade in Washington, D.C., July 4th, 2023. Our goal is to raise $200,000 so that we can send our students to Washington, D.C. While traveling to Washington, D.C., our students plan on attending the African American Smithsonian Institute, Howard, Hampton, and Norfolk State University. We're accepting all forms of monetary donation. To donate to this specific endeavor, please donate directly to our PTA association, and in your memo section, please put Marching Pride of Sunnyside. We'd like to thank all of the donors that have contributed to our program thus far, and we'd like to thank all sponsors and contributors for donating to our From Worthing to Washington campaign.
All right. Welcome everybody to Talk That Talk. We have the unfiltered, unscripted, uncomfortable conversation about band, HBCU, band culture, music, education, and more. Let me go ahead and introduce the panel. We got Maya.
Hi. You said that fast.
I did?
Yeah, it was like, welcome to this.
My bad. I thought it was in normal time.
Maybe
it
sounded fast to me.
Oh, I thought it was normal.
That was good though, because you enunciated, but it was giving auction a little bit.
Don't I enunciate every time?
Yes, but I'm saying that the fact that you were going that fast, or seemingly that fast, but still enunciating was cool. But maybe I'm just hearing things.
Maybe. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, but you may be right too, though. So hey, who knows? And then we got Quan.
All
right, man. So the first thing that I do want to say right out the gate, I saw the percussion battle. I tried to watch as much as I possibly could. It was a lot of battling going on. I had really one question, and maybe Quan, you can answer it for me, or maybe you cannot. I kind of felt Skyline, when they did them individual battles, should have been at least in the top 3. Now, maybe that was just maybe my untrained eye. Maybe.
So I don't think Skyline did bad, but I think it's hard to truly rate them when some of them were like by themselves.
Facts.
Like they had a quad or quint player, a quint or sixes player that was like by himself.
So, but he was nice though. He had some
most definitely him. But the young man that's from Virginia was a player. You know what I'm saying? And then so it's hard to rate like if it's a mess up or you were intentional,
right?
As a percussionist. So that's that portion of it.
Got you. That was really the only thing that I really just saw that I was just like, I gotta ask Quan this question. Other than that, I gotta talk to Simon later on, because he added the little slow-mo effect that is to some of his videos. I was like, yo, this man doing something different. So we're gonna talk about that later.
Let me say this. It's really cool, like, that all of us, like, we know each other. Like, I really, like, Justin is cool when he be in his element, bro. Like, Justin is a tall dude, but that boy be like a linebacker moving. I mean, he be like,
oh yeah, he be quick.
He be like, then 2 minutes later, he land on the floor on his computer, typing down, and he get back up. Like,
it's cool to see like when people be in their element, like doing their thing. Like that's what's up. Shout out to him. Shout out to Midwest. I think it's Midwest Entertainment. Like, but I'm gonna get the name right before the show. But like they had a lot of people. Bandhead Network. Jerome was out there. I'm gonna be real. That drumline competition, if it keeps going the way it's going to be the premier drum competition in the nation. I'm not talking about in the South, in the nation, bro. Like the people that came out and showed out, you know, it was live. Shout out to that school from VA. I'm gonna get the name of it, but them boys is wow.
It was a school from Virginia.
Yeah. Let me get the name real quick because I don't want to mess it up.
Virginia. Maybe I can help you out.
Bro, like when I tell you that, you know, you don't be scared of nobody, but it's like you could look at them was like them boys is something serious. They the school name was Granby.
Granby? Yeah. Granby. Yeah.
Granby. When I say
they walked all the way out here, bro.
Yeah, they walked out there with their little swag walk. They hit that little they tonal bases.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be real. If we wouldn't have won, I felt like they should have won.
Wow.
Like hands down. If I was judging it as a non-biased person and my school wasn't in it, I was like, bro, they win.
But and you know, it just so happens that I went back and I look at Dante's looked at some of the clips from the percussion episodes, and one of the things that I saw was Dante talking about bringing what we do at Norfolk into the quote unquote SWAC space and vice versa. So I think it's really interesting because you have a school like Granby, who in most cases is Norfolk influenced, coming into that space, and boys got to see what they were about. I sure hate that I missed it. Maybe I was looking for all the videos. I guess Justin ain't put it up yet.
Nah, but here's the thing, and I got the opportunity to say it. When we had the second portion of that percussion episode, we wanted to make it clear, bro, we appreciate that style.
Right.
Like, we feel like them boys is live. And honestly, what those kids show, first of all, let me say this. Many of the kids were disciplined, but that was one of the most well-disciplined groups that was there. Yes, sir, no, sir, that type of feel. It wasn't no, hey, we coming out here to battle you in the bathroom, like that aggressiveness. They was like, man, we came here to play. We're going to play, and we're going to leave it. I liked their whole vibe of what they had. It wasn't a large line, but everybody that was playing was playing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't no horn holders or instrument holders. Like, them kids was playing. And the type of caliber they're playing, you could tell they were reading. Because that type of playing, you can't just teach it by rote like that.
Right.
Yeah, they own. So shout out to Granbury. Shout out to all the schools. Shout out to Arctic Thunder. Shout out to even Decades. Huh?
You said Granbury is Granby.
Granby, my apologies. Granby. Shout out to them. But shout out to all the schools that was there. It was 15 schools that was there, bro.
Yeah, I saw it was a lot of kids, bro. Like when they were doing the individual sectional battles, I think it was one of them that I think like almost everybody was represented. Was it the snare battle?
Yeah. So everybody was representing every battle. So I mean,
no, because it was one that didn't have sixes.
I don't know. I can't remember because it was so.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot though.
But I do want to say this. Shout out to the battle of MSD in the Den. Shout out to them. I'm gonna say it publicly. Shout out to the home team, MSD. Them boys playing. Keep the energy, gentlemen and young ladies. Keep that energy and keep pushing. Rito. When I say like, I stuck my chest out. You dig? Like I was them boys did good. And then I guess the kind of bittersweet, the percussion instructor at Langston was my section leader at PD.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
There was one joint that they did that was very similar to PV's joint. I don't know the name of the cadence, but I know when I hear goom 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 goom.
Oh yeah. It's kind of like a little funk groove that called messing around. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So when they did something similar to it, because they had the snare line, bend over and do the little joint. Yeah, they did the whole, and I was sitting there like, that look a little familiar, bro. Like that look familiar. Yeah.
Cliff was my section leader. Clifton Love was my section leader from he was section leader from 05 to 06, and then he came back to Marshall a few years after that. But he was my crab section leader, and he's teaching at Langston, of course, with Gordon and whatnot. But shout out to both of those programs, but home team,
And I think I saw my boy Kevin Lee out there.
Yeah, he was with Marching Thunder, and what was crazy is we ended up battling after.
Oh, really?
In the parking lot, yeah.
Yeah, man. It's it's funny. The last time I saw Kevin was at the National Battle of the Bands. I just happened to run into him. Me and Kevin, we started instruments together at Welch Middle School, man. Linda Stiegler. Yeah, so that's where I know Kevin from, man. 6th, 7th, 8th grade.
Hey, do you know Ardara Harris?
Danielle Harris?
No, his name is Ardara Harris.
Oh, it's a guy. Ardara Harris? No. Okay. Or if I know him, I may need to see his face though. Wow, what's up?
I'm gonna shoot you a picture because he was teaching math at Welch for years. He was an Alpha 2. That's why I was asking if you knew.
During my time, you got that was more than 20 years ago.
Yeah, bro. He just retired like 2 years ago. So
okay, well then, yeah, maybe he was probably there then. So no, yeah, let me shoot me a picture and I'll look at him and see if I know him. But yeah, man, so it was definitely great to see Kevin, man, and just everybody, man, in there just doing the drum thing and fellowshipping, man. Yes, I am old. I'm well aware of my age. That's why I got these little gray daddies down here, man. I was cutting my hair the other day, and I just see more growing in. It's all right, man. It ain't a little salt and pepper and a little wisdom and age. Maya, what's going on, girl? What you got going on?
Nothing compared to what y'all just talked about, child.
Well, I mean, it was, drum stuff.
I know. Love to see it. I don't got nothing going on. I'm tired. Honestly, today was long, dark, and hard.
Yeah, I'm tired too. Unfortunately, Dallas traffic is trash. They're doing some random construction on 30, and so I sat in traffic for 2 hours. So I'm definitely tired. But I will say this: I watched, and I meant to call you on this. I'm sorry, Maya, but I watched. I actually got a chance to go back and watch your show and you all show, and everybody who's watching out there and listening, I had to get on Maya after her show because she was supposed to text me and let me know she was done so I could put all of the outro stuff on, and I get up and I'm looking and it's clear screen. So they just kind of said, all right, we out.
Exactly.
But in watching your show, though, you are absolutely right. You guys were definitely involved in some really good conversation. I thought you all show last week was really, really good. You guys talked about some great things. But I wanted to tell you that I actually wanted to text you and tell you that, but I'd rather tell you that right here live so people know that I'll just be giving love. That's all I do. I give people love and encouragement and all that kind of stuff. That's what I do.
No, for real. Like last week's show was really, really good. And it's really the ones where the energy just kind of takes off on its own. Those are the ones. And so that's just really kind of what happened. Everybody chimed in. Everybody had good input. And we was just rolling with the punches. Next thing I know, it was 2.5 hours later.
That too. When I looked up, I was like, it's 2 hours. I ain't never really seen you go that long. But what I will say is sometimes watching your show, it and this is what I like about watching your show. It's never like, and I don't want to say it in a way like it seems like that on this show, but it's never like forced.
Oh,
It's really just girl talk, and I don't think I have a problem. I mean, I don't have a problem with it. It's really just girl talk and banter, but at the same time, you all are giving out some good information and also some great opinions and great thoughts, and I love watching it. When I go back and watch the playback. So, like I said, last week's show I thought was great. As always, there's always great insight on both sides. I appreciated Sean turning her hat around when she was
literally and figuratively.
yes, when she stepped out of one mode, she turned that hat around, and when she stepped back into another mode, she turned the hat right back around. So, yes, I just wanted to make sure I gave you your props and your flowers, you, Portia, and Sean, for last week's show. So, absolutely.
Thank you so much. Love to see it. I really think it just has to do with like the rapport, right? I think that helps a lot. Like, of course, I spent years with Miss Sean, and I think that when we all went to Houston for National Battle of Bands, me and Portia being able to connect on a different level definitely kind of helped too. So I think naturally,
yeah,
just
Portia leaving me and the wife, and was like, I ain't with y'all no more.
We was having a good old time, child. You on mute, girl. I think
she was on mute.
Okay, I was
Talk
gonna
now.
say,
Smith, you're gonna have to come in.
Yeah, you're gonna
have to go in and come out. I don't know why this joint does this. But yeah, we can't hear you, so you're gonna have to go in and come out, Portia. And I really want to hear what you was gonna say too.
Right.
Especially you kind of left us high and dry. But I do want to go ahead and move on with today's episode and today's show. So before we do that, let's go. And yes, I saw somebody put it in the comments. It ain't my time to record yet, but I'm about to hit the record button in a second. Let me tell y'all something about this record button though. Do y'all know I hit the record button on last week and woke up the next day, it was still recording because I forgot to cut it off. So now I didn't hit the record button to cut it on. Now I forgot to cut it off. So somebody remind me, send me a message or something to tell me to cut it off today. Portia, let me see if you're talking. You good now?
Can y'all hear me?
Yes, we.
Don't do that. Listen, don't do that. Don't act like I ditched y'all. That's not how that went.
You did.
I do not appreciate these comments. Okay.
You did. I mean, it's the truth. I mean, you was riding with us for like, what was it? A whole day and a half. And then after the, what was it? I think it was the second night.
So you wanted Maya to be riding by herself? You had Camille. You wanted her to just be by herself. That's what you wanted?
Okay, so let's be fair. First of all, I would never want Maya to ride by herself. But the truth of the matter is, Maya always rides by herself. So it's not like it's a new thing. Like it wasn't something that was just invented yesterday. So I mean, she was, really comfortable with that process. But I do appreciate the fact that you did get in the car with her for safety reasons, but you did ditch us too. I mean, let's call a spade a spade.
We had an amazing trip. Y'all took me all around. I had Buc-ee's. I went to Prairie View. Like, we had a whole little moment. Like, I don't
Absolutely.
Not like we weren't going to the same places.
That's not what I said. I didn't say that. I just said that you just ditched us. I mean, it's all right. You dropped us off, and you said I ain't hanging with y'all old folks no more. That's what you said.
What? Me and Camille the same age. So I'm old.
That's not the point. That's not the point.
Anyway, and then you killed me last week when you was like, did you put Miss Sanders on the camera? I did.
Yes. Yeah. Maya, did you notice that?
I didn't until later. I was like, maybe that is what I saw.
She was just smiling and teasing and waving.
Yeah, she said, let me wave to the people. So, she waved to the people.
I know that's right.
Wow.
I like it.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and get this thing started. There's a lot that I want to be able to cover and get done today. So as I hit this record button, like this. Boom. All right. So let's go ahead and get it right. Welcome everybody to Talk That Talk. We have the unfiltered, unscripted, uncomfortable conversation about band, HBCU band culture, music education, and more. Go ahead and smash that like daddy as soon as you walk into the room. Don't even wait for it, man. Also, please make sure you subscribe to the Passionate Network and turn on notifications. This episode will be up on all your podcasts and networks. Just type in Talk That Talk, except for on Apple Podcasts, where you can type in real Talk That Talk. You see, I had to move it, man, because
Cover my damn face.
yeah, you had to
I'm
look over
somebody
it.
special.
Oh man, okay, man. So let's go ahead and get into this. So, if you don't know or anything like that, as you know, you have that situation with Ed Reed. So if you don't know about the Ed Reed situation, obviously Ed Reed was not hired at Bethune-Cookman University. So he is a Hall of Fame NFL player. He was going to be hired at Bethune-Cookman University. And so he is no longer in consideration. So let's go over that. So as we know, the issue with Ed Reed is taking over most of our social media airways. So before we get into this, so let's state the facts. All right, because there's a lot of hearsay, there's a lot of I think or I believe. So I want to make sure that we state the facts. So first of all, Ed Reed was not a contracted coach at BCU. I'll say it again. Ed Reed was not a contracted coach at BCU. All right. So the second thing is there are not adequate football practice facilities at BCU. The only reason why we know this to be a fact, I've tried to make sure that I comb through all the information as I possibly could between the Roland Martins and the HBCU Connect and so on and so forth. What has been understood was that the president or the interim president did state on Roland Martin's show that there is locker rooms and showers on the campus. However, Ed Reed did confirm that it was not. Football players confirmed that it was not. And the AD confirmed that there are not locker rooms and showers at BCU. So that is another fact. And then the last fact that we do know is that the situation at BCU is unacceptable. Those are the things that we do know that is fact. Now, unless there are any other facts that I missed, all right, if there's any other facts that I missed, if Quan is there, Quan, you still there, brother? Guess he's not. Guess he decided to tip out. So let's go to you, Maya. What are your thoughts on this particular situation?
I'll be honest with you. I'm confusion. I'm just gonna be
honest.
Because I've seen it, but I was just like, oh, I'm tired. Like, here we go again. Here we go with all this. Between that and the Shannon Sharpe stuff and whatever, it's just been like, woo. So I haven't taken the time to really engage in the media that's out there. So all of this is going to be based off of what you all are saying and what I think that I've heard. I don't have any actual factuals on anything. So from my understanding,
the facts is what I gave. Everything else is going to be personal opinion and hearsay.
Okay. So essentially, if I'm correct, he was considered, is no longer being considered. And so now we're back to the conversation of why HBCUs are underfunded or understaffed or what is the hoopla, to be clear.
All right, so let me go ahead and kind of break this down. So Ed Reed was in conversation and talks to be the new head football coach at Bethune-Cookman University. And so it was kind of announced a little bit. It wasn't like a huge announcement or anything to my knowledge, but it was kind of like, yeah, he's going to be there, blah, 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 blah. But what ended up happening is there was a video that surfaced between, I think it was either the TikToker or Instagram, and it was a live video, so it might have been Instagram, because I don't think you can go. Can you go live on TikToker?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know that, but anyway, it was a live video where he was actually conversing with people within his video about the situations that were going on in the school. So some things that he was not too happy about. He made comments about the fact that his office was not even cleaned. He pointed to some buildings that were on the campus that were quote unquote full of trash. He also made some statements regarding, I think it was I can't even remember. I just drew a blank. Oh, he had to do trash cleanup with the football team and the players and the students. And so basically it was really kind of, and I don't want to say it was a bashing session per se, but it was kind of like a bashing session. So much so that and it was I think it was two other videos. I think it was 3 videos in total, 2 or 3 videos in total. And so the president obviously caught wind of it, the AD caught wind of it, it was on social media. And so what was put out in the media is that he was going to make the decision to step down. But what truly was transpiring is that they were letting him go. He's got on multiple platforms and made it very, very clear that he wanted to be, or wants to still be, part of the BCU family. However, they let him go. So he did not make the decision to step down. But what has now transpired now is not only the facilities as far as the athletics, but also the other conditions of the school, such as mold in certain areas and things of that nature. Now, I will be fair in saying that the president did make it very clear about the 2 hurricanes that did come through Bethune during that time in Daytona. And so because of that, that is also the reasons why there is the mold and so on and so forth. So I think I told the whole story, Maya, so that you were kind of caught up. So with that information, what are your thoughts?
I mean, I feel you. I'm still like, I mean, I don't really know. I don't know what to think just yet, because it's just, well, okay. What is different from what you said, per Black Twitter, at least per Black Twitter that I was exposed to, made it seem as if he was already like in there, like swimwear, like already signed contracts or whatever the case may be, and they was about to start football camp next week. So needless to say, again, I'm still a little bit lacking. I'm not quite sure. I mean, I get a grasp as we continue on, but I'm not sure to have a full opinion on how I think that whether he's displaced in his uproar or not, if that makes sense.
No, it makes sense. Now, before I go to you, Quan, I want to make sure I give you this caveat. We're only talking about Ed Reed and your opinion on the situation. I don't need you trickling over into some other stuff, because then you'll cover about 3-4 them topics that I already got there, and then we can't even get to the topics because you already covered. So we only talking about your personal opinion about Ed Reed. Go.
First of all, let me say this. It's not my fault that I cover a spectrum. Some of y'all are just one topic people. Don't try to limit me. First of all. Number one. Number two, in regards, in regards of Ed Reed, I understand both sides. Being honest, one side, he spoke his truth for what it is, and what was going on and what was taking place. Because I've seen follow-up interviews from students and whatnot that was like, yeah, we were sharing helmets. They did have mold on XYZ. Yeah, the facility was not up to par. Um, and then I also understand that you get more bees with honey than vinegar, right? But my whole thing in regards to it, if it wasn't Ed Reed and another coach said it, would you still feel the same way? Is it about Ed Reed, the Hall of Fame player, or is it that you was exposed? That's what I'm trying to figure out what the uproar really is about. Because when the situation happened at Grambling a few years back, when they had mold, they had messed up weights and all of that, we did not hear the same type of uproar. And I believe this was maybe in about maybe 5-6 years ago, right? Where was the uproar then? Right. So I feel like, unfortunately, as Black folks, we have selective, what's the word? Selective activism, so to speak.
Selective outrage.
Thank you. Selective outrage when it comes to things like this. Because of the type of platform and because he's a Hall of Fame player. And then I even seen people say, well, he's a Miami Hurricane. He don't understand HBCUs. But he trying though at this point. So like I feel like that point is mute, because if I know what's better, and I pray I don't spill into something else, but if I know what's better and I know I'm healed and somebody else is sick, if I tell you you're sick, are you going to have an outrage that I told you that you're sick? Like that doesn't make sense to me. And I feel like as a culture, like that's where we are. Some of these people with these specific platforms are merely saying, hey, the HBCU sector, the HBCU sector and the HBCU realm is sick. And we low-key need to expose it for it to get fixed, because for years it's been like this and nothing has changed. So I stay on topic.
So you answered very eloquently, but you were starting to bleed over into one of the topics. That's what you
put a suture on it. Put a suture on it.
All right. Well, what I will say, and I know Portia probably just pulled up in the driveway, so I do want to get her thoughts on the Ed Reed situation. But what I will say is this. The truth of the matter is, I don't have a problem with the fact that it being exposed.
So can I butt in?
Yeah.
What? Okay. Let me ask. What is the uproar? Is the uproar is Ed Reed's alleged uproar that he said, "Oh, they fired me," or is it that these conditions or this environment is unacceptable and we need to do something about it?
So it's a combination of both.
Mm-hmm.
Because the conditions itself, the students are in an uproar about. There are alumni who are in an uproar about it. But when it comes to the students aspect of it, it's because of that they're saying that they feel that Ed Reed was let go unfairly because he only brought light to the specific situation that they themselves have been dealing with for quite some time. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then to add to that, I feel like the admin is only upset because he was cursing. Like he went on kind of like a rant like that.
That's why I said I'm not upset. I'm not upset at the fact that he exposed it, right?
Yeah.
Like, and when it gets to the admin, I don't think the admin are upset that he was cursing. I think the admin are upset because they exposed it.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
But in my opinion, I feel like he did expose them, right? But the way he exposed them, what I'm saying, like the approach of the way he exposed, like we picking up MF and trash, and look at this crap here, and look at this shit, like the way he did it. You dig what I'm saying? It's like it's kind of like he was like. It was like how high, and it was like, get him, you back there, and you like it was like one of those type of rants. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
But I mean, it ain't no nice way to say they got us sleeping with mold in the next room. There ain't no nice way to say that. I don't think they would have. I don't think they trying to make. I mean, they might be mad because he went on a rant, but they would have been mad either way. I mean, you know.
Smith, I think it's raining in VA. I'm assuming.
Is that?
Oh.
Can y'all hear me?
It's
Yeah, you went out and then you came back in. Go ahead, you got it.
My phone starting to pick up my home Wi-Fi because I'm backing into this driveway.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I mean, they would have been mad either way. Now, I think he could have did it with a little bit more tact, but the reality is that social media is now exposing a lot. And I don't mean no harm. I understand that they had the hurricanes and stuff like that, but what kind of health conditions are these students going to have 20 years from now from sleeping in a place that got mold or being in a building, in class, in a building that has mold? I mean, I think Ed went a little left when he had a job yet. But, I mean, you got to call stuff out in order for it to be addressed because they hadn't been all up in arms about the mold that was in these buildings.
Right.
So, go ahead. Go ahead, Mike.
I was going to say, I mean, obviously, well, again, this is also me learning as we go. But I can assume that, of course, maybe the media training is not necessarily there of how he conducted these things. But I can also assume that this isn't the first, second, third, or fourth time that probably this situation or these instances have come up, right? And so maybe they did fire him or renege or whatever you want to call it on the offer or whatever it was, because they're saying like, oh, okay, oh, our house is dirty. Now we got somebody in here who really don't care, and maybe it's because his heart is in the right place, so he's really there for the care of the students or and all these great things. But they like, oh, we didn't pick somebody who gonna let air out our dirty laundry, and maybe this ain't the type of time that we're trying to be on. So I can understand that, and for that reason, I would say, well, keep on talking, like because if the students can't get their point across, if they've tried, or whoever is trying to blow the whistle and say like, hey, these are the things that we need to capitalize on, or these are things that need to be fixed. Sometimes it take getting a little ignorant to get some results. Sometimes you got to get down with it and say what you got to say. Sometimes you just have to, unfortunately.
But
I'm sitting over here singing "Blow the Whistle" when you said "blow the whistle." My bad.
Hey, but here's the thing though. Didn't Deion do the same thing?
But no, and that was the point that I was going to get to. So here's the thing, and I had a great conversation with one of our frat brothers, the one that came on the show, Tyler. He said something to me that made very good sense. He said, you know, it was nothing wrong with the exposure, but he ain't had no job. You didn't have a position. You ain't even signed a contract. So you can't, it's almost not even comparable to the Deion situation. Because Deion was in that seat. Deion had that contract. Deion was officially the coach. That man ain't had no contract. He had an agreement amongst two people in a room that really ain't a lot of people know about. Or maybe they did. But that's only by word. Until you sign that name on the dotted line, you ain't got no job, homie.
I mean, but that's true. But they also put it on media though too.
Hey, look.
Like I
so contract, bro. He was not an employee of Bethune-Cookman University. It don't matter if you put it out on the media.
So then why be mad then? So like that's what I'm saying. So if he wasn't like, so like my thing is, if me and you say bro, we gonna do whoop de whoop and we agree, and you put that out, yeah, Quan my dog, he gonna do this, blah blah blah, and then I'll be like, nah, Luke phony, blah such and such, and you be like, nah, we ain't gonna do it no more. It's like what you mad for?
But so, and then I get what you're trying to say. You're talking about a verbal agreement against two people who are friends. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's a difference between when you're going into business with somebody, because you don't know this person. You get into a verbal agreement behind closed doors. Yes, they bring it out and they make it a media presence, basically saying this guy is gonna be or going to be the next person. But then you don't sign a contract, then you go bash the school before you even really get in the seat. For them, it's easier to let them go because you have nothing signed on the dotted line. Now, I will also say this: he would have been, unless his contract said something different, he would have been an at-will employee, if I'm not correct. Which means that if you're an at-will employee, they can let you go for whatever you can. But I think, if I'm not mistaken, that if he had a contract signed, that would have been a, hey, come into my office real quick. We need to rap about what you did. You need to make a public apology because you are officially on our payroll, and because of that, you are officially a representation of this university, and we got to make it right. Since he wasn't that, you out. I'm good,
bro.
I
mean, but this the hypocritical part. You put my name out there to bring recruits there. That's what you put my name out for. But now you let me go because I'm saying, you know, X, Y, Z, and blah, blah. Now I'm gonna flip it real quick. You hear me? I'm pretty sure when they agreed, some of that he possibly saw. Because you can't tell me as a head coach, I'm not going to walk the facility. Like, you know, and I know when we're getting interviewed as band directors and we finish our interview, what we say? Hey, let us see the facility. So you can't tell me he didn't see that.
So apparently, per the president and the AD, he quote unquote knew about the situation, quote unquote. Now, my biggest argument about all of this information, because Quan, I don't disagree with some of the things you're saying. I'm gonna say this, but my biggest argument about this situation, I don't care if it's a verbal agreement or not. That's fine. But my problem is, as a president and as an AD, you let this man go recruit for you. And in the video, he wasn't driving in his car. He was driving in a BCU cart, which means he had access to that campus. So don't get me wrong. There is fault on both sides. I ain't gonna sit up here and act like it ain't, because you're right, Quan. Let's be real. This man has never coached before. This would be his, the president said that this would be his first coaching job, and they would put somebody in the place with him that would be able to facilitate and help him work through that coaching process. They were using him because the truth of the matter is they wanted a prime situation at BCU. Let's be real. I bring in Ed Reed. I bring in money. I bring in top athletes. I'm bringing in all of this stuff, just like Prime did. And what Ed Reed tried to do is he tried to prime his way. I'm going to record myself going through this process. I'm going to try to make myself a video. The only problem is, one, he didn't have a contract, A5, by the way. And two, hey, I was throwing it up. And two, he did it the wrong way. Let's be real. He just did it the wrong way. If he would have had a little bit more tact, I'm telling you, it wouldn't even been the same.
They still would have been mad, Luke. I'm telling you, Julian, they still would have been mad. Black people do not like their laundry being exposed.
Right.
And to me, I don't mean no harm, but that's the only way they get moving. I'm telling you now, these students up here at Norfolk State is going to Twitter about everything. And I'm telling you, stuff move and shake faster when they do that versus them calling internally, at calling, nobody responded to them. Soon as they put it on it and to get some traction, or is somebody calling them, what's your number? How do I contact you?
Right.
Some of this stuff that's going on down there is completely crazy. It ain't no nice way to say they don't have facilities here. So, if he had got on there and said, guys, I just want y'all to know, Bethune-Cookman doesn't have facilities. We're picking up trash, blah, blah, blah. They still would have did the same thing in my
office.
But see, that's the thing. Okay, so the way I see it, maybe I'm playing devil's advocate, I'm not sure. But at the end of the day, contract, no contract, or what have you, especially if there was no contract signed, it's still a vetting process, right? So just like whether you incorporate or not, I'm interviewing you just like you interviewing me, right? I'm about to get this job or whatever. I'm starting to see the little holes. I need to ask these questions because now I'm understanding in a more concrete picture of what the hell I'm gonna be dealing with when I sign my name on this dotted line. I'm sure I'm seeing all the bullshit, you know what I'm saying, that's about to be coming through the cracks that I'm going to have to deal with and I'm going to be responsible for. So if I'm thinking like Ed Reed, obviously there's still some ignorance, right? Because I don't truly know the odds and ends. However, I'm like, okay, well, if I'm him and I'm seeing, okay, it's mold over here. So, okay, I'm thinking about how many players might be sick for a particular week or not be able to play a game or whatever, or they don't have the fields or whatever in which they can actively practice or do what they need to do to be able to develop the skills. At the end of the day, who's going to fall on me? So I might as well go on and say what needs to be said because like I said, I'm going to sign my name on this line and it's still going to come around to me anyway. So who's going to help me? And who's going to help us figure out what needs to be done so we can go ahead and help each other and it be a mutual benefit as opposed to me just being like, well, shit.
And he could have tried to have these conversations behind closed doors. I know how these African Americans at these HBCUs work. They will ignore you as long as they can. Let's be 100. Let's keep it a buck. They will ignore you as long as they can. They probably, you don't know how many times he tried to have this conversation in private.
That's a fair point.
And then he might have just got to the point where he was like 2 tears in a bucket.
No, he.
Now I gotta shake the table. I gotta shake this table to get me.
I tried to tell y'all this ain't gonna work, and y'all ignore me. So if I put it out, that's people are doing that in every facet of life. I've tried to have conversations with you, but you're not listening.
So I think let's morph this into or let's move this into the first topic, right? So, and I think a lot of us, Portia, I know me and you are in agreement to this. I think a couple of people, Quan and Maya, you may be. I think a lot of it is just the fact that he made exposure to something that they didn't want put out there in the public. And I think that honestly, I think that's part of the unfortunate stop snitching culture that we are so accustomed to. So the first question I have is, has the stop snitching culture ruined us? Quan, let's go. Well, no, I usually go right to left. So Maya, let's go first. Has the stop snitching culture ruined us?
I don't know because I can't answer this because if it got to do with me and my days, oh, I'm a snitch. I'm singing like a damn canary, you know what I'm saying? So what them folks do over there, I don't know. But in me, don't do nothing around me. If it comes to my dollars and my livelihood, I'm sorry. I got to say what I got to say. I saw it was Jim, Bill, Jamie, and T-Shawn at 7:16 p.m. on the corner of George Washington and MLK. I'm telling it all. So you can't. I'm the wrong person to ask. That's not stop snitching culture ruined us and ain't ruined me.
So I will be honest before I get to Portia. In my younger years, I was definitely in that stop snitching culture. But when I got older and said realized how idiotic that was. Oh yeah. I'm telling everybody. I'm calling Popo. I'm calling my mama, my daddy. I'm calling everybody. So that's just me. But Portia, has the stop snitching culture ruined us?
Let me explain. Even when I was younger, it was certain things that fell into that category. But when it came to my livelihood, like me breathing in mold, baby, I'm snitching. I'm sorry, what? The food ain't right. I'm snitching. It's certain things that don't fall in the snitch category. If it comes, I'm not, listen. Nope. Listen, you got to protect you. I'm not going to breathe in mold to say I held a university down. No, I'm paying to be here. I tell the students all the time, they be like, my professor is not responding to me. He got a boss. She got a boss. Oh, you're not getting what you need? They got a boss. Y'all paying these people salaries. These universities don't run without students. You're paying to be here. You better raise as much hell as you got to get what you need to out of this institution. It ain't no snitching if you paying for a service that you not getting, or the service you getting is subpar. No, sir. And the kids probably said, hey, coach, we've been trying. We've been saying something. And ain't nothing happened. Especially if he built a rapport with them. Because I'm going to tell you right now, if something ain't right with the Silk ass, I'm going to war. And if I get fired in the process, that's cool. Just hire somebody else that's going to hold us down. Somebody got to die on the hill. Might as well be me.
Quan, has the stop snitching culture ruined us?
I think personally, everybody that says the snitching culture, most people ain't really. I'm gonna go twofold. Most people ain't really never sat in that cold room with a district attorney, straight up. Because I'm not even gonna tap into it like real deep, but until you sit in the cold room and the person be like, say, bro, your plea bargain is 30 years. Like, you don't know what real snitching is. I ain't talking about this rap stuff because that's the problem. They looking at these rappers and talking about Gunna and he snitched, but you ain't never sat in a cell before. You ain't never had a cold bologna sandwich with grits. You ain't never had to fight over slippers. You ain't never, had to take showers 3 days out of the week. You ain't never sat in the 4x8. So people are getting things thwarted on what snitching is, because if you're doing what's right and you're not in criminal activities or organizations, that means you're a civilian. So there's certain rules to you. Now, if you doing, you out here like that and jumped off the porch, then that's a different lifestyle. So then the rules of the engagement for that type of lifestyle. But if you go into BCU, if you go to HBCU, it ain't no snitching. You're a civilian, bro. So stop it. So the problem is people are trying to bring gang culture into real life, which is a problem in itself. So that's number one. Number two, when it comes to the like Portia stated, I'm paying for you. Like, you really work for me. So we need to start understanding that. But bottom line is, it's not just at BCU, it's at all HBCUs. And we're just going to be honest. We have to do better with holding people accountable for what they say they're going to do. That's just the bottom line. It ain't no snitching. It ain't no snitching that Prairie View doesn't have a band hall. We know it. Like, that's the problem. It ain't no snitching that if them people got mold in their locker rooms and like those two football players say they sharing helmets, that doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Was it snitching for Deion Sanders when he said the math ain't mathin' with the ticket sales that y'all that y'all were sold out to the ticket sales for the money that y'all getting? That ain't snitching. That's simple economics. Like, so we have to do better with it. Now, does it seem as if when HBCU are black things are in the forefront, it's magnified? Yes. But if we don't want ourselves and want our HBCUs and our colleges to be in the forefront, well, we need to do better. How many misappropriation funds scandals have we had in HBCUs? A lot. We already underfunded, and you got people that's stealing, and you got people that's not getting paid what they're supposed to. So all of that not snitching, how are things going to change? Unless you expose it. Now all of a sudden, people want to move. I've seen an AD was on an interview today. He was like literally merry-go-rounding the fact that he never mentioned the mold, he never mentioned the helmets. He never mentioned the practice facilities. He just was trying to stick to the topic of that's not what it was. Ed Reed was wrong and politicking. Because my question is this: are some of those people willing to take pay cuts for the betterment of that university? No. So then you're not really there for the kids. I think the difference is with these Hall of Fame players and college players, former NFL players, the difference is it's not even about the money. It's legitimately about the kids because they made their millions. They get a pension from the NFL. So what they're getting is extra. So It ain't about stop stitching. We need to expose honestly what's wrong. The band culture as well as HBCUs as a whole. Financial aid too.
So what about those people who say, you know, this y'all supposed to do this for the culture. We supposed to keep this in-house. You ain't supposed to air our dirty laundry.
In-house ain't got us nowhere. I'm sorry. This stuff been happening for decades. Years upon. If the university felt like it was wrong, they wouldn't be doing it. And I'm sorry, sharing helmets. We still every day it's a new variant of COVID. No, sir, I'm not putting that. Ew. What?
Ew.
In all fairness, though, Portia, you are a germaphobe too. So
you know it. What? I'll be the only person on that team with my own helmet. Ain't no way in hell. Ain't no way. No, I don't. What? But they think that that's okay. Because if they didn't, they wouldn't be doing it. So why am I going to stop something that I don't see anything wrong with?
But then we say things such as, well, why we can't get more blacks and top 100 athletes to go to these HBCUs? Why would I? Why would I go like
facilities?
Yeah, that's the first thing they do. The first thing they do is they show the facilities. They put their name on it. They get their own jerseys. They get like the staff is it doesn't compare. At least have the facility.
Did y'all see the interview where Prime had all of them people that work with that football team introduce themselves?
What happened?
What you mean, Colorado or
Colorado? It's like people that do
after that.
Everything. Do you hear me? Everything. They got a staff that do everything. You think of it, they do it just for the band. I mean, just for the football team. That's their job. They show up, whatever their job is, financial aid, tutoring, whatever. They're exclusively for that football program.
I'll get into it later.
Did you see that? 56 people on staff. 56 is a bunch of them. And their facility, you know, it's just a huge difference.
Well, I was maybe my mind was getting the best of me, but I was gonna say they got somebody who like a panty washer too, like somebody dedicated to that. Because honestly, what popped in my head was they got a cup washer, but I don't even know if people like really use that or not. I'm sorry, I just had to say that. But going back to what you said, now yes, I think amongst HBCUs, at least the ones that I've been somewhat privy to, our facilities and environments may not necessarily be that glamorous, that up to par, that upgraded. Now, I can't speak for all, but I will speak for that Purview. Now, I don't know, them folks got some money over there because them TV facilities is top tier, okay? And this is from somebody who ain't even fully stepped foot into the newest part of them. But not to take away from what you're saying. I just want to plug my little.
I know what say that building older than all us put together today. But I will say they've put some, wrap the walls and put some new weights in there. I mean, but it ain't. No. Mm-hmm.
I mean, we did get the little gym daddy in the new union. But I mean, that's not necessarily athletic facility. And I don't know what it looked like now. I know when we first got it, it was fresh and brand new. It might be old and stank now. So hey, because that was what, 10 years ago? So, but I will say this, and I want to make sure that I clarify this. I was watching Undisputed today, and Shannon Sharp had the nerve to throw out, and I think he kind of all HBCUs in the same boat with the lack of facilities, and he threw PV out there.
Is that why all the PV people was in the frenzy today? Because I just saw PV people going out, but I was like, what's going on?
I was about to say that. Yeah.
all HBCUs don't have terrible facilities.
Right.
Now, are they in D1 range facility?
No.
Probably not. But they ain't all terrible. We can't do that now.
No, we're not gonna do that.
So I didn't even appreciate that, and I I'm just a
now what I will say is he ain't been in a HBCU in a month of Sundays, as my grandmother would say. So maybe when he was in school, back then, all of it was trash.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he went to Savannah State in the 90s.
Yeah.
80s, 90s. So I mean, yeah.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and move on to the next topic. I just want to make sure I clarified that. What's up?
I just got one question, but I really want to know, not saying that he hasn't, but I really want to know the dollar amount of how much he's giving back to Savannah State.
Does he give back to Savannah State?
No, I'm not saying he hasn't, but I don't know. Maybe that's something that's worth a Google.
Well, there you go. Give me a second. I'll look it up if somebody in the chat don't do it before then. All right. Let's get ready to move on to the next topic. Welcome everybody to Talk That Talk. We have the unfiltered, unscripted, uncomfortable conversation about band, HBCU band culture, music education, and more. Man, y'all go ahead and tap that like daddy right now. Also, please make sure you subscribe to the Passion Is Network and turn on notifications. This episode will be up on all your podcast networks. Just type in Talk That Talk, except for on Apple Podcasts, where you can type in Real Talk That Talk. So one of the things that I was paying attention to, and this happens in our own culture, and I want to make sure that we address this today. It don't matter what it is, and we can put it in this particular category with the Ed Reed thing. When you watch this whole situation with Ed Reed, specifically the fact that he was making light of some certain situations and so on and so forth. There's always excuses. Yes, we know that there's 2 hurricanes. We get all of that. But I'm pretty sure that this, as Portia stated, this wasn't the first time that you heard these complaints. I'm pretty sure. And I also understand that things don't move immediately. I get that too. But my thing is, there's always an excuse, and especially with Black folks. We love our poison. We can justify our poison every single day. So the question is, have we become masters at making excuses for what's right? Portia.
Hold on, there's somebody from the band staff. I need to take this call.
Oh yeah, go ahead. All right, Quan, you got it then.
Oh damn. Say the question again, bro.
Have we become masters of making excuses for what's right?
Yes. There's always a justification for something, including behavior, including how we treat each other, in regards of just doing what's right. There's always a justification. When at the end of the day, right is right and wrong is wrong. Just bottom line. You said we're lumping this with the Ed Reed situation?
Yes, but we can talk Black folks just in general. We can talk Ed Reed, however you want to frame it.
Okay, so I'm gonna tap into this, and if I ruffle a feather, I don't care. You and I, Julian, we've had this conversation when we said when we spoke, and we said one of our most viewed shows was Mass Band, right? I always ask the question, where is the same uproar for music education when middle school programs are destroyed? I've always asked, where is the same type of outrage when these universities are not getting funded like they're supposed to, or we don't have the buildings like we're supposed to? Being honest, bro, where is the same outrage for education in urban and low socioeconomic areas? In 2023, we still have students that cannot read. And we still have the audacity to argue about things that honestly, that doesn't matter in the end. Like, again, we have students understand from prison to pipeline, the gap is getting larger that cannot read. And we're arguing about, well, it's their background. Like we treat our kids like there's not a real world out here and we're not preparing them for. So there's a justification for everything. There's a justification for bad behavior. There's a justification of why we cannot get paid. There's a justification of why we're not getting the things that we're just due. It's like we're getting more and more education to get less and less paid. Like there's always a justification. There's a justification for adequate band directors that we're graduating. Do you know there's more and more music education programs that are losing their accreditation because they don't have places to practice or places to perform? So I can go on long and long, but there's too much excuses in our culture, and then we're saying we're doing it for the culture.
All right, Poster, you ready? Or you still in work mode?
Yes, we are masters of excuses. Some of the stuff that happens at these institutions is absolutely nuts. And it would not be acceptable anywhere else. I love HBCUs. I knew I wanted to go to one. I still work with one, you know, I'm still an advocate, but some of this stuff is just unacceptable. Like, why is it a running joke that you know that your experience with financial aid is going to be trash? I'm confused about that. Why? At the end of the day, this is a job that you chose to take. And as part of that job, your customer service should not be horrible. I don't understand that. But it's a known fact across the board. Yes, this is a stressful part of it, getting the finances together. But if I'm already trying to figure out how I'm going to pay for my education, I don't need your attitude because you chose this job. I don't get it. Some of this stuff is crazy. It's not professional all the time. It's not timely all the time. Like I don't, and we continue to make excuses. Oh, financial aid is stressful. The students don't always have their stuff together. Things go, I work in corporate America. Things go crazy all the time. Stuff happens that is completely off the wall all the time. But if I acted how these people acted at my job, I would be unemployed. Situations do not give you the audacity to be rude to people. Stress does not give you the green light to disrespect people. I don't understand that. I've never seen so many people that cannot, in corporate America, you have to respond to emails at a certain amount of time. You continue to do that, you're going to be out of a job. Students will show me, see, I reached out to my professor 4 times. It's been 5 days. I haven't gotten a response to a single email. What's the point of that? So, but it keeps happening because we continue to make excuses for it. I hear stuff like, oh, you know, that's an HBCU. No, we're allowing it to be a HBCU.
Dang it. I just wrote that question. God, we can dive into that later. But okay, go ahead. My bad.
That's my opinion. We keep allowing it. We keep making excuses for it. We keep accepting it. And as long as it's accepted on the larger scale, it'll continue to happen. Or until it's exposed. Or until it's exposed. But yeah, we continue to make excuses for this unprofessional behavior because that's what it is. It's unprofessional.
All right. Maya, have we become masters of making excuses for what's right?
I mean, yeah, of course. Absolutely. Like, we tend to put, I don't know, our hays and nays in the wrong pockets, things that truly don't matter. You know what I'm saying? Like, these kids, and this is not the first university or what have you that has had, I've heard things about mold or whatever, right? But I guarantee you that damn grass is cut. I guarantee you that grass is cut every single day. Why is the grass always cut? Oh, because we want to make it exemplary, or we want to ensure that it looks a particular way. Okay, but these kids ain't got a pot to piss in. Excuse my French. You know what I'm saying? But those two things don't go together. And just like Portia was saying, what we allow is what will continue. Point blank, period. And it's not really, there's nothing around that. But at the end of the day, it's also the types of people that we have in the decision making areas. We can think about that for a little bit as well. Some of them may not necessarily need to be in these particular spots, because those are some of the reasons why all of this crap continues, and it's cyclical. Oh, I ain't been able to say that in a while.
We ain't said that in a minute.
There we go. It's cyclical. Daggone it. So maybe we need to reel it on back, and let's start from the top and start slishing and slashing from the top and see if we get some results. I bet you if presidents or whomever $1 million salary start being put against the line, then I bet you we would get some type of something.
The other thing is that we need to start hiring the most qualified person, and not your homegirl or your peoples.
Ooh, well.
But see, that was why I was going to bring that up, right? So let's talk about HBCUs for a second, right? We make the most excuses for unprofessionalism and lack of business at HBCUs. We do that. We cover it with, this is the only place where we take care of our own and blah, blah, blah. It's still a place of business and education at the end of the day. And the more that you continue to make the excuses for it, the more that we are going to continue to be looked at as less than. We can even go as far as the band room. Let's be real. Let's just keep it a buck. And I appreciate Sebring coming on that day and having this conversation, because it reigns true. Let's be real. Most of us had band as a class. And if you had band as a class, it should work as any other class. What do? Oh, we just give them A. But if you show up to this class unprepared, if you show up and you ain't got your stuff together, if you barely show up, you should fail. But we don't. I agree. We give everybody, we got all the excuses in the world. Well, I'm just trying to help that baby out. That's all I'm trying to do. They good, and they heart is good. We know what's in their heart. That's not, at the end of the day, we got excuses for everything.
Yeah. And that's not preparing them for real life, because at my job, that evaluation ain't about your heart. It's about that work.
So I look at it even in the same vein as this Ed Reed situation. There's a million excuses as to why the certain situations were not done, were not completed, so on and so forth. Instead of just saying, you know what, we messed up. We'll take care of it. What's wrong with that?
Yeah, what they should have said was, though we didn't appreciate his delivery, he had some valid points. We have not done the best by these students, so we're going to do our best from this point forward, trying to rectify it. They took my biggest problem is that, to me, they didn't take any ownership of this. Right. All of it was, he was wrong, but the real issues were not addressed. That's a problem for me.
But that's too much like right. Accountability and ownership is something that we have issues with. But it's also something we continue to accept as well. Like you mentioned earlier.
Right. Because see, what they should have done was not play football with them borrowed helmets. I bet you some heads would have rolled in. See, we have more power than we utilize. That's if good. They had to explain why they weren't gonna play no football, oh, I bet you all that would have been cleared up.
That's good. That's good. And you talking now, girl. You talking. That's good.
oh, we forfeiting this game because we ain't got no players. The players on strike because of these facilities. Some heads would have rolled. But we tend to take stuff because we love it's about the HBCU. No, y'all paying to be students here. And not only that, you're generating revenue for the university by playing sports for them. And they're going to treat y'all like crap. No, we ain't going. And I would have picked the biggest game, like the Florida Classic or something. It would have been a real big game. We ain't going. Not finna show up.
We know, Portia, after you acted about them helmets, we know you down for the cause. We know you down for the cause.
Helmets. Yeah. If y'all don't know what Maya's talking about, y'all gotta go and watch their last
dog that won't hunt. Okay.
But I can even put it in this context. Here we go. Quan, you ready for this? Man, y'all band don't sound good. Man, we're just trying to have fun. It's all about the entertainment. It sounds like an excuse to me.
Yep.
You can't have fun and sound good?
We ain't worried about, all that other stuff.
I guess not, Butcher. I guess not.
We just trying to have fun, man. Let these kids have fun. It's for the culture. It's for the culture.
And off the streets.
Okay. It's for the culture.
Well, somebody need to be a culture vulture. Hell.
Nah, bro. Like, I mean, Luke, you brought it up. Like, but here's the thing. We sit up here and we say all day it be for the kids and it be for this, it be for that. I'm gonna be real, man. People really ain't teaching. Like, we just gonna call a spade, and the Trump a Trump.
I agree.
Like, people really not teaching. And then the ones who are the loudest or that are in the forefront, I'm gonna just put it out there. I know them niggas ain't teaching. Like, straight up. Like, I try to be watch my words, but I know they're not teaching. And see, here's the issue. A lot of people, and Luke and myself, we had this conversation. Many times Rick was on the show, he was like, there's no bad teachers. I mean, there's no bad band. There's no bad kids or students. There's bad band.
Bad bands, they're only bad band directors.
Right. But I had to sit back and I had to think about it. I don't agree with that because sometimes you can have a great band director, great kids, but then the administrator don't support you. So then sometimes your product does not align to what you're trying to do. Because the truth is, sometimes some administrators just think small. So you can't. I've been in situations. Yeah, you got to think big. You know what I'm saying? I've been in situations where low key, I've begged for a band class. And the teacher was like, well, because of schedule, that's another excuse. Because of schedule, the way it's set up, the infrastructure, yada, yada, we can't do that. I've had administrators literally tell me, well, Mitchell, can they like move stuff? Like, can they like organize your band hall at least? I know they could do that.
Excuse me, back up. I'm sorry, I was distracted. What happened? Who moving furniture?
I'm telling like so to right, so you can give them a grade because they make your class a dumping ground. So it's like that's what goes on. So if you got a situation like that, how can you build?
You want to know why we experience all of this? Because the people who make these decisions aren't in these situations. They aren't uncomfortable. Because I guarantee that man that sat on Roland Martin ain't no more where the hell he sit at every day on BCU campus. The person that said that to you, they're not dealing with this dumping ground. You know what I'm saying? So the real thing that Ed Reed did was make people uncomfortable. There is no change in comfort. So that's why I said, don't show up to the Florida Classic. All them dignitaries and them big wigs and everybody that be up in them boxes, they would have been real uncomfortable. Ain't no football team. Quan, I met your kids. They off the chain. I love it. I like it. It reminds me of the hood in Richmond. I sure appreciate it. But I guarantee you, if you said, you know what? Now that you've built this program up, we done because I ain't got the support. I bet you they'll be like, well, what's going on now? We got to start making, I'm telling you, that's why I tell these students, keep going till you reach the top. If you got to reach Dr. J to make that professor in this department uncomfortable, you do it. You keep going because people are only going to do what you allow.
Right. So again, it goes back to the excuses. And then it goes back to like, I got a question for everybody. When we gonna win? Rich.
Oh, Quan, ask questions.
Yeah, sorry. I took over the show today, y'all. When we gonna win? Like I'm saying this. Yeah, give me the mic. When we gonna win? Like when really are as Black people, when are we going? And I'm saying this because we justify everything, y'all. Like I was showing the kids Selma today, and as I was looking at it, and they were taking notes, and we're talking about, you know, music and different things in it. I was like, y'all ain't nothing really changed. I said,
but you want to know why they moved the needle a little bit, which we struggle with today?
They did it together.
Look, they did it together. We can't do nothing together. What I'm saying I think this might, like, I love sports. I love football. Like, I'm a dude in a girl body. I love sports. Like, die hard. Me and my daddy, I'm telling you. But when my love has died down.
You got some admirers out there. You can't be telling everybody you're a dude in a girl body now. I'm just saying. But go ahead.
I mean, I'm really like not playing with it. Like, no sports, know it. But my love died a little bit, honestly, because with the number of Black people in the NFL, when they decided to blackball Kaepernick, if all the Black people in the whole NFL had decided, oh no, we're gonna ride for him. Y'all not gonna do this to him. We're not coming to one game. They ain't finna play without y'all. This whole situation, but we cannot come together to do anything anymore.
Because you ain't gonna mess my money up.
But see, that's the illusion.
We will not pay all of y'all.
No,
unless
but see,
you play for the Cowboys, because Jerry Jones, he still think we slaves. I'm sorry. Yeah.
But here's the illusion though. So I knew I was in ministry with one of the football players from the Houston Texans when that situation came down. Do you know what he told me? He said, I can boycott, but most of them players can't. I said, well, why? He said, because there's an illusion that everybody's a millionaire. He says, real talk, most of these people are thousandaires and they don't want to lose it. So he said,
I understand, but if they had done it together, they weren't going to not pay all of them.
And I agree. But see, that's the thing. That's if you go back to Willie Lynch and all of those things, to how to isolate the Negroes and different things like that, it's the same tactics, bro. So like for us, the difference is for us right now, like we always speak about the crab and the barrel mentality, right? Like on the show. But I'm starting to look at two different perspectives of the crab, the barrel, the net, and even the water. What I'm starting to look at and realize is to teach in some of these environments, it's so hard. I asked today, I said, you know, it's really hard being an educated Black person now, because you see people that are still living in ignorance, and you're the educated one, and you're trying to tell your people, say it's a real world out here, and it's a system that they have set up against you, but you don't want to hear that shit. But at the same time, I'm trying to keep my sanity without losing my own shit. And then also feeling like, I got to get mine. So we're literally stuck in this dichotomy in the middle of, do I help my people or do I help myself? This is literally where we at. Do I want to build better bands or do I want to argue about mass band all day, keeping people off the street, when I feel like I can do both? But because real talk, because I don't have the band that's blowing, because I don't have that, nobody ain't gonna listen to me though. But me and Luke could talk about phrasing and all of that. But you gotta throw your resume for boys to be like, they know what they talk about. Not my degrees though, because that don't even matter no more. Like not my, like that shit don't matter no more. Like that's the type of shit we on as Black people. And that's why I say I have a different type of love for Simon because regardless if he like it or not, you dig, he gonna be like, man, well, let me see what you talking about. And that boy was enamored at Midwest, was like, bro, why ain't more people here? Yada, yada, yada. It's like, bro, I feel like we are some of the greatest creators out of everything. In the face of adversity and being oppressed, bro, we could make $1 out of 15 cents. But the problem is when we go back to our community, we be on the same old shit. I don't get it, bro. So that's where I'm at. I want to help these kids where I'm at. But at the same time, I got black professionals that doing some backwater shit that be so wrong. So how I'm gonna want to work with you? Man, bro, we got it messed up and everybody laughing at us. Everybody could get together and laugh at us. That's all I'm saying, bro. Like, we need to wake up, bro. Everybody woke, but everybody want to act like they woke, but they still asleep.
It's like I said before, bro. We love our poison at the end of the day.
Exactly.
At the end of the day, we love our poison. I gave Quan the analogy. On the phone the other day? Said if you put in most black people, not all. I got to make sure I put that out there. All right. You put a nice piece of fried chicken in front of them and you put a salad in front of them. They know the chicken tastes good. That grease is going to slide down that throat real nice. But they also know that salad is the best thing for them. Pause. But what we going to choose?
Both of them. I'm taking both of them. Thank you.
Well, you gonna take yours and chop yours up in the salad.
That's what I said.
No. This ain't a chicken salad. This ain't a chicken salad. I'm gonna have that fried piece of chicken and a little bit of salad on the side.
If you only get one choice, most of us, not all of us as a culture, but we gonna choose the thing that tastes good to us. Mm-hmm. We gonna look at the salad and be like, yeah, I mean, we need it, but I'm good. Because that's what we are now ingrained to gravitate to. Our poison. That's the same thing that's feeding us every day. Music wise, that's the same thing that's feeding us every day. Culturally, that's the same thing that's feeding us every day.
That's tough because I was just about to say, that's that excuse right there, right? You look at that salad and be like, yeah, I am on a diet. Yeah, I am trying to lose whatever. Yeah, I was diagnosed with pre-diabetes or whatever the case is. But then it'd be like, well, it is my cheat day. I might as well go and get me
work this off tomorrow.
Exactly. I just go work out 2 more times this week. That's all. That's it.
We justify and find excuses for every single thing. It's almost like, and I, I'm gonna do it. I got to bring it back to the band world, right? It's almost like you got somebody. I'll throw it out here. You got Bethune over here, and then you got a mass band over here. And I'm gonna bring up the mass band. It is what it is. Bethune. Well, I mean, they sound good. But this over here, though, they cranking up over here, though. You see what I'm saying? I just, for me, in my personal opinion, we just love our poison, bro. Don't get me wrong. A crank up is a good crank up, but if it don't sound good, it don't sound good. Pedagogy wise, if it ain't done the right way, it's just not. And that doesn't mean that we want everybody to sound the same. Nobody's asking for that. But we justify the stuff that's not the best for us. So that's why, Quan, we can't work together, because you're going to find a group of folk who are going to justify some BS. I mean, it is what it is. I'm going to be real. Quan, watch this. If I say don't listen to Lucy no more because it's poison for you, you going to do it?
Me?
Yeah.
Quan?
Yeah.
Hell no, you know that. You know that.
You see?
I'm not. What you mean?
I had but honestly, that's just the real. I don't have anything else I can put on that. Any final thoughts before I move on to the next topic? Nope. Oh, go ahead.
So do you think we're ever going to win?
Are you asking me straight up? No. As a culture? As a people? Is that what you're asking me, Quan?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yeah, as a people.
No. I think that in order for that to happen, it's going to take something like really drastic to happen. Like super drastic to happen.
I don't know how much more
And
drastic we gotta get.
But that's the point, right? Because the truth of the matter is it's not drastic yet. Because there are people who are suffering, there are people who are going through whatever it is they're going through. But also the truth is that there's always going to be a justification, because they're going to say, well, look at Tom over there. He's good. So it's always going to be comparable, or somebody's always going to try to find the comparison to the outlier. It just, for some reason, it's always going to be that way.
Sad, bro. Like, that's sad. Like, that's really sad, bro. I'm gonna be quiet, but that's sad.
I mean, it's an unfortunate thing. You know, we look at so many situations and be like, well, he made it out. So if he made it out doing what he did, I can do it too. That's just an outlier.
But everybody blessing, not your blessing.
But that's my point. That's the outlier. The outlier is the person that operates outside of the norm.
Plus, the way that I go about attaining my specific blessing is not the same either. Absolutely. But here's the crazy thing. Y'all remember that movie? Y'all remember 12 Years a Slave? So I didn't see the whole movie, but I remember on the end.
When you reference a movie you ain't even watch all of it. It's trash. You're trash. But go ahead.
So on the end, like the dude said, like, hey, bro, what's your name? And he gave him his fake name. And he was like, no, what's your real name? And he told him his real name. He was like, you illegally, stole this person. And he get in the little buggy. And the slaves that finally got to know him out of the 12 years were weeping because he was able to go away. And he was like looking at them as he, left off the plantation. As we get more and more educated, because everybody on this panel is degreed. Most of the people that come on this show are degreed and educated. It's hard, bro, to see some of the most ignorant shit that takes place in our field. And we just supposed to sit there and be like, nah, ain't nothing wrong with that. That's hard. Like, for real. That's hard, bro. That's why sometimes I'll be like, should we continue to try to fight this good fight? Because people don't understand. People are not in the trenches with us trying to better these kids to get them to the next level. Like, I don't understand that, bro. Like, nothing what we do should be taken for granted. The work that Portia does for the Silkettes, the work that Maya does inspiring other young girls, the work that you do, Luke, even to inspiring me when I be like, education, because it's rough. Like, I just don't get it, though. I just don't get it. Why we can't get it? It seems like everybody's getting it except us.
But some of these people don't want to, so you can't change people who not receptive. My goal is not them. My goal is the fact that I don't know if it has anything to do with this show or my prayers, but I seen more color guard features this season than I done seen in the last decade. If we reach 5, I'm okay with that, because the ones that don't want to be reached, we not going. This not for you. This not for them. Some people just gonna turn it what their way and their thinking is ingrained in them, and you can't change. My dad said, "Ain't no fool like an old fool." Some people don't want to get it. Some people not trying to understand. Some people, especially in this band culture, have a one-track mind. And anything outside of what they're exposed to, they're not willing to understand. I knew nothing about mass bands other than I ain't really care for it before I got on this show. Like the inner workings and stuff that I've learned on here, but I was willing to learn. I was willing to hear it out. And y'all have educated me so much. I ain't know they was paying people $40,000 a year to be band directors. y'all have educated me, even though, I think I'm a pretty smart person, but I'm constantly learning. I want to know and be able to speak about things. I want to continue to expand my knowledge, but that's who I am. That's who we are, but that's not how everybody is. And there are going to be people who, no matter what our intentions are, no matter how many great conversations we have, no matter even what what our resumes are, they're not going to care, because our way of thinking is outside of their mindset, and they ain't gonna get it. We ain't gonna reach everybody, and I'm okay with that. And it sucks, but that's what it is.
All right, let's move on to the next topic. Here we go. Welcome everybody to Talk That Talk. We have the unfiltered, unscripted, uncomfortable conversation about band, HBCU band culture, music education, and more. Man, y'all go ahead and smash that like daddy. Did I say like daddy? Like daddy. Smash it at least 2 or 3, 4 times. Just for this conversation and just for the day, just because you woke up this morning and you were able to see another day. Also, please make sure you subscribe to the Passionates Network and turn on notifications. This episode will be up on all your podcasting networks. Just type in Talk That Talk, except for on Apple Podcasts, where you can type in Real Talk That Talk. Hey, before I go into the next topic, Quan, I had a question for you. Are y'all on the don't give them less than the 50 thing? Your kids?
No, it's don't give them less than a 70.
I only been out of education it's almost been a year. They hit 70 now? How long you been? Oh, you've been on 70.
Been on it.
Oh, it was 50 in my places. I just wanted to act because I
ain't that part of the problem?
Yep.
That's what I was gonna say. Even in education, we give excuses, right? Like I never could understand. The principal would justify. They were like, if you give them less than a 50, then they feel like they ain't got to work for nothing. In my mind, I'm like, wait a minute, that kid didn't even write his name on it, so he ain't work for nothing anyway. What do he need to work for?
Y'all, when it comes to education, let's be real. When we was in school, you remember when you failed and you saw your kids go to that next grade, it did something to you. You was like, I don't got lunch with them no more. Nah, you still with the 4th graders, brother.
Right.
They in 5th grade now. They get bag lunches. You still get fruit snacks. like you know what I'm saying? Like it was something that
graham cracker.
You got to break the graham cracker down a lot. But like now, kids can literally be passed even if they fail, and you really don't get to fail until your senior year. So then all of a sudden it's like, could you imagine going through your tenure of school, of elementary, middle, and secondary, high school, and then that's your first time failing? This goes back to everybody got to get a trophy. It goes back to that. Kids don't know how to accept failure.
Oh, so this why they get to Norfolk State and we be like, you ain't check off, so you sitting down and they confused.
Yeah, possibly,
yeah. Yeah.
Why? Like you said on one show, Portia, we got to practice every day.
Yeah, that took me out. Yeah.
But no child left behind ain't even in effect no more.
They've added to it though.
Yeah, it's not no child left behind.
That's not the term anymore.
No, because you are leaving them behind. If they should have failed, they should have failed.
See the
SNL, right?
Sorry,
it's SNL, right? Every student succeed.
Right, but it still has the remnants from.
Yeah, it has some of that remnants and sprinkled in there. But yeah, go ahead. My bad.
No, you're fine. That was what I was just about to say. Is like, but I mean, our education rough. We are held more accountable. I'm gonna just leave it at that. Education teachers are held more accountable than students because it's about stakeholders. Who's really the consumer? Because teachers, quote unquote, are afraid of the parents. The teachers are afraid of the administrators, and the kids ain't afraid of nobody.
The administrators are afraid of the board.
There you go.
And yeah, the kids ain't afraid of nobody.
And your board could be full of non-educators.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Which
Absolutely.
I pray for y'all daily. I sure do.
Check your local school board and see how much education experience they have. Most of them be like judges and lawyers.
Yep.
And people really think the superintendent really has authority like that. No, he still has to go to the board.
That's why you be seeing them in them board meetings and town hall meetings, just sitting there while everybody else is trying to talk. But anyway, let's get to the next topic. So and Portia, you kind of hit on this a little bit. You know, everybody has their personal opinions on how things are run. And I want to make sure I bring it up for everybody who's watching. If you haven't watched the episode with Deontay the counselor, I want you guys to go ahead and watch it. That was a super dope episode that day. We were definitely given a lot of information from a certified licensed counselor, but also was able to hear some of the things that counselors deal with that we were never privy to. So if you get the chance, go back and watch that episode. But one thing that he did bring up that I earnestly believe, and I want to bring it up now because we talk about it so much. He said there's no such thing as your truth and my truth. There's only the truth. And I think the problem with that is we believe that the truth, or we believe that my truth is the truth. And I think that that's where we start getting messed up at. And I think that this is where we start choosing our poison. And I also think that that's where we start justifying our poison. So the question is, how do we determine the truth? How do we determine the truth? I don't know who I want. Maya got a mouth open. Boom, you go first. I saw you.
I think that the truth is determined when egos are lessened and when we can get outside of the emotional side of things versus logic. Because oftentimes the truth lies in logic. And I just think that's how we determine it. Like, I've always heard it's your perspective, my perspective, and the truth, right? It's somewhere in the middle of those. But that's how we determine it, by being able to think less, or not think less of ourselves, but be okay with being wrong or something not being in our favor. And pushing the notion of what's actually factually, what's actual facts, and going with that. Maybe I'm thinking about it wrong, but that's what came to mind.
Okay. Portia, how do we determine the truth?
Who is we?
Why you gotta act like you was ready to swing on me?
I'm just asking, who's we? Me as in Portia, or we as in the culture? Like, who's we?
We as in people, we as in everybody, we as in you being a singular person of Portia, because you are a part of we. You are a part of this we family right here. So you still we. So
but those are different though.
Most people in the we, I guess the general, their truth is normally based on what's more favorable to them. That's what I think. That's how most people determine the truth. Now, I'm a realist. If I'm wrong, more than likely I'm gonna say I'm wrong. If I did it, yeah, I did it. You know, but I mean, to me, the truth is what happened. But see, the problem with that is people interpret things differently. So again, I go back to people normally go with the story or the scenario that is more favorable to them. Because normally when people are trying to get to the truth, they're trying to just navigate some kind of situation. Because if everybody's on kumbaya on one accord, they normally don't have different stories of what the truth is. So yeah, people interpret and receive things differently. So normally their interpretation is either going to play them as the victim to make them look better, or whatever scenario is going to make them look more favorable in the situation. That's what, in my opinion, people do to determine the truth.
So, and just going off of what you said, is that determining their personal truth, or is that determining the actual factuals of what is really true?
No, that's their personal truth, because people, a lot of times, people don't want to talk about the whole situation or the whole scenario or what actually transpired, or they don't even want to hear what the other person's view is, or how the other person felt, or what the person's intentions are. They normally interpret the situation and run with that based on how the situation made them feel, is what I see people do a lot.
So outside of personal feelings, because when you typically get into personal feelings, that's when you starting to get into my truth.
Mm-hmm.
So then how do we determine the truth? Not
you gotta listen to, you have to hear all sides and piece it together. That's what I've done. That's what I've had to do, because people don't be telling the truth. I'm telling you, you hear, when the stuff happened with these students, I talk to them separate. And somewhere in the middle of all these stories is the truth.
okay. All right.
If you listen hard enough, the truth is in there somewhere. You just gonna have to decipher the parts and pieces of it. That's the truth. And that's just sad. Like, people do get emotional a lot. Especially in confrontation. They just really shut down. The brain don't work or something. I don't know, but
okay. Quan, how do we determine the truth?
So I'm gonna say this. I think everybody, and I'm gonna kind of like go against the grain a little bit. I think everybody has their own perception of truth, and then there's such thing as absolute truth. But that doesn't mean that both parties have to be wrong either. So I think the problem is if Luke and Portia is having a conversation, then there could be both truths in both of those comments or opinions that they're having. But the result behind it, that may be the absolute truth. Now, the problem is when we're listening to one another, most people listen to defend. They're not listening to hear the other person's perception. And I think that's the problem in it. So, for example, like when we have our debates about, well, who you think was better, what is your perception, what is your liking? Okay, if I like Prairie View's Drumline, and then Portia says, well, nah, I think MDFS, Million Dollar Phone Squad, is better. Okay, that's your truth, that's my truth. Okay, the absolute truth is both of them are decent lines. Nah, that's your opinion.
Right, but I think one is because you're right. Those are opinions, though. Right. But let's say you had two snare lines,
okay,
and both of them just played inverted flams.
Okay.
One was dirty. What?
I said, okay, I'm excited.
I mean, I ain't trash now. I mean, golly, now I probably can't play it, but I at least know stuff. God dang, I had to teach. But anyway, but one line was trash, they was dirty, and the other one was clean. There is a truth in that.
Correct.
But there's somebody who will say, no, this side was clean, versus the other side that really was clean. How do you determine that truth?
Well, see, I also feel like that's the difference,
because it's not an opinion. There's truth there. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
But no, you're right. But see, that's the difference between being delusional and then just denying truth. So
see, there we go. So then how do you determine truth? That is exactly my point, right? Because you're calling it delusional, while you as the educated person will sit there and actually say, yeah, you probably delusional. There are people, and you know this, who will look at specific situations and know truth but say I disagree and that's my truth. No. That's not your truth, and it ain't my truth. It's only the truth.
Well,
it's
see,
like
this
we
whole
know
term of my truth is relatively new because I don't remember hearing this growing up.
Nah, I mean, neither.
It was. It
Nah,
wasn't.
it wasn't.
And now when people say it, I be like, what does that even mean? Like
this came around when everybody's feelings mattered. This is when it came around. I grew up in the era of F your feelings. I'm sorry. F your feelings. Do what you're supposed to do. I grew up in an era where if you a crab in the band, you don't have no say so. Shut up and do what you're supposed to do. That's it. But now everybody has to have an emotional connection. Everybody has to have a feeling about something. Everybody has to be able to allow themselves to be able to express their emotions and so on and so forth. And this is where you get the your truth, my truth, and we completely absolve the truth. And what I'm asking is, how do we determine what the truth is? Because everybody my truth, your truth.
Well, I'm gonna be real with you. Like, being honest, you really can't, because
no. I deal in facts.
Well, no, I'm just saying. So you could deal with facts and things black and white, but when you're speaking, I'm talking about like band world and things like that. You really can't deal with it because what has been created is this metaverse. And many people think the metaverse is real, i.e., people think, I'm gonna just use these two bands for clickbait or whatever. If somebody say Southern and then somebody say Bethune-Cookman, we could be like, hey, Bethune-Cookman sounds great. Bethune-Cookman is a better band than Southern. The people that's loud and boisterous, people will be like, man, you wrong. Southern is the truth, and Southern the Kings and such. I'm just using this example. People are gonna feel like that's the truth. When another group of people could be like, nah, Bethune the truth. How you gonna determine who better?
Off of facts and evidence. And that's why I said some of that comes with lessening ego, bias, whatever, if you want to group those together and looking at the facts. But ain't no but.
Some of these people not interested in fact.
But that's all I'm saying, P. Like,
so then can we actually get an adjudicated what's McCall then?
Baby, they would never show up to that because then it would be like, well, who died and made you? Who gonna judge and put you in charge? And what credentials do you have?
Exactly. You feel me? Oh, they biased to that type of style.
But
started from who gonna judge it.
But there we go. And now you're kind of getting into some actual points when we start talking about the truth. Because you said if you said Bethune and Southern in the same category, right? And we said who was the better band. Basically, a lot of that is going to fall into opinions until you start going down to captions.
Right.
Because there's a truth in the captions. Which horn line was better than which? Why? On what standard are you basing this on? Intonation, balance and blend, clarity of sound. When you get into there is no your truth and my truth. There's only the truth. Now, whether you want to accept the truth or not is a completely different situation. So, I just hit my microphone juice. Man, I don't want to trying to get this for a whole nother 2 years out of this. Come on now, for an upgrade. But yeah, so that's why I asked, how do you determine the truth? And even in that, because you said people are delusional, which I don't necessarily disagree with. But then, are you fighting a losing cause now that we are in this era of my truth?
I ain't fighting nothing. I'll tell you right now, if you want to be crazy out there on a limb by yourself, go ahead. But what I'm going to tell you, if it's an impact in my sanity, I want you to go ahead. Go ahead. At least that's how the Cellcast run. Go ahead, baby. Because we gonna be on 1 1/4 around here, or we ain't gonna be around here.
Well, I'm gonna be real. I do feel like we fighting. I do feel like it's a group of selected band directors that are fighting, and I do. I believe we're fighting against the internet band directors, the metaverse conductors. I do, because you got people like real talk that possibly was cold in high school, and they may be cold on an instrument, but that does not mean they're a great teacher. And people really need to understand and discern the two. Most people, and that's why I'm so thankful. Like I continue to read. I read, is finishing a book, Dr. Sanford book on my lunch breaks, and he said, "Bro, I wasn't good at my horn, but you can't deny his teaching." And like real talk, some of the greatest musicians are not great teachers. You dig what I'm saying? So it's like now we got people that feel like because you wasn't cold on your horn or your sticks, you're discredited. You feel what I'm saying? Like that's not so. Like the proof being the pudding. Now that's truth. You dig what I'm saying? So it's like we're fighting against the people that was good in high school that still right off high school, and then they got clout. So because they got clout, they could build a band quote unquote from scratch, and the band don't sound good. But then all of a sudden, they get to go places though. But people will follow them because of what they did in high school, not what they're doing now. Man, you got band directors. I'm gonna say it like this. It is what it is. You got band directors at the collegiate level. Some of them don't have as many credits as me, but they're at the collegiate level. You ain't gotta. That ain't no shot. That's true.
I mean, it's still a shot. I mean, I don't deny the truth. It's still a shot.
I'm just saying because like I feel like, bro, real talk, 2023 gonna be the year for me. Like, and I feel like people feel like that's arrogance because anybody that really knows me, I really walk in humility. But I'm really tired of seeing imposters. Like real talk. And I feel like people be playing this game, and real talk, they're holding some of our positions that we should be getting. There's no reason why Crystal shouldn't be at the collegiate level. And I'm talking about like HBCU. I know she had to, doing master classes and whatnot. She just said she was doing a master horn, upper brass course, I believe. You know what I'm saying? And she's a person who I know got years and years of expertise, but she's the one always asking, "Hey y'all, how can I improve on this?" That's true. That's a person that want to be better. But you got people that feel like they're a master arranger, master, and I see, and I see what they be doing, and I'll be like, "Come on, I know you're not teaching, bro."
It's allowed.
Exactly.
The excuses. See, all this stuff circles back, man. I try to put these topics together where it all makes sense and it ties together. All right, I got one more topic, and then we're gonna let people in. I already pinned the link inside of the chat, man. If y'all been rocking with us the whole time, that's what's up. Specifically in the chat, man. Y'all come on in, man. Turn that camera on and cam up, and let's have this conversation. Welcome everybody to Talk That Talk. We have the unfiltered, unscripted, uncomfortable conversation about band, HBCU, band coaching, music education, and more. Man, go ahead and smash that like daddy. I said Dottie again. Who is Dottie? Smash that like daddy, man. Also, please make sure you subscribe to the Passion Is Network and turn on notifications. This episode will be up on all your podcasts and networks. Just type in Talk That Talk, except for on Apple Podcasts, where you can type in Real Talk That Talk. I don't know why I'm getting so tongue tied right now, but this is the last topic right here. So we already know about this thing that's happened with Ed Reed, man. It's been a really interesting situation that's been going on. And typically when this stuff happens, specifically on the athletic end, when you have the Deion Sanders situation, it's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this. Everything is just so bad and everything is in an uproar and blah, blah, blah. My question is, why are there uproars about athletic facilities, but we make excuses for fine arts departments? Why are there uproars about athletic facilities, but we make excuses for fine arts departments? Daquan had to click his camera back on. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, before I transition, I'm gonna say it like this: like the reason why it's like that is because people look at us as the shucker and drivers on the campus. They don't truly see being a musician as a true craft, and what we have to do that on a daily and weekly basis. We're really engineers because we're taking something that's a vision and creating it to reality. But they don't want to see that. But because as a football player, you're dealing with X's and O's, and they think that bringing in revenue or whatnot, then that's less than. When anytime that we have to perform any type of music, any type of entertainment, they call us. Any type of parades, people know Norfolk now, if they didn't on an international level due to the Rose Bowl, they better get some more l'argent this upcoming year. They better. Because if not, they the ones that need to boycott. You feel what I'm saying? Like there's no reason why Prairie View, who has marched in the Rose Bowl, they've marched in Macy's now. They shouldn't be getting more money. And then you got FAMU on the back end. You then went over to London, you know, perform with North Carolina, but y'all eating sandwiches at the Loves, and you can't even wash yourself. Like it doesn't make sense. The reason why, and I think it goes back to Portia's point, because we don't want to go on strike. You gotta ruffle feathers to have change. That's just my opinion. Me personally, the Storm need to boycott until they get a new Hobart. There's no reason why in 2023 they were sharing the building with the business, and then I think it was Navy ROTC. We on engineering building number 4. I think the ROTC and people, they got a whole new building. So all of that land over there, that could be the band. That could be the band whole area. There's no reason why. No reason why.
All right. Go ahead and transition, Quan. We'll bring you back in as we always do. Portia, why are there uproars about athletic facilities but excuses for fine arts departments?
Because we're not making enough noise and we making it work. We continuing to show up. We're continuing to produce. We're continuing to make things happen with less than. And to Quan's point, people feel like basketball, football, these sports bring in fans. But the reality is, all those years that Norfolk was terrible, this season, and like so many other seasons, once halftime was over, the stadium would clear out. So who did they come to see? Not only that, they're not looking at this in dollars and cents, because I can't speak for every campus, but like at Norfolk State, the marching band has the largest student population of any organization on campus. So that means revenue for the institution. But it's not seen in the same light or in the same vein as sports. It's seen as an extracurricular activity when it comes to dollars and cents and speaking out. But when it's time for an event, it's the main attraction. And those two things don't go together. But we allow them to exist. We allow that to happen. I cannot tell you how many gigs this marching band goes to. It's crazy. I thought Dr. Sanford had us out there. Every time something happens at this university in this area, Norfolk State is there. That marching band is there.
The football team only play during games.
Right. And it's to the point where it seems expected. Like almost like if we say no, it's a faux pas. Like, what? What do you mean no?
You mean no? You know,
right.
no. You don't tell me no.
Right.
I'm your president. I pay your salary. Sorry,
It's just a lot. It's a lot, but it's not perceived the same way. I don't know. There's some connection, deep connection, rooted connection to sports, but that same love and is not there when it comes to the marching bands and or fine arts departments or anything related to, other areas of the university. Because that, to me, the same thing is the same uproar is not raised about issues with academics.
True.
It's anything outside of that. They'll move mountains and give these budgets above and beyond, anything for these sports departments. If you looked at the Spartan Legion budget and the football team's budget, they're not even comparable. It just is what it is. And until we're tired of it is what it is, until we're tired of being treated in two different capacities. At 1 minute, oh, we love y'all. We need y'all. Y'all got to be at this. But when we're not serving a purpose, it's, oh, they'll figure it out. Until we're tired of that, it'll continue to be this way.
All right. Maya had to step away. She said she'll be back in a second.
Okay.
So because of that, let's bring in Crystal. She's been waiting backstage for quite some time. She was probably cooking some dinner, something like that, eating good. She probably wasn't. I just making some stuff up. But anyway, what's going on, Crystal?
Hey y'all, I am cooking.
Oh, she
So
was.
y'all were talking. Yeah. I made some air fried chicken wings, and my son made string beans. He's very proud of them. He's asleep, of course, because he can't be up this late. But this was a topic like this. First of all, shout out to y'all, Talk That Talk, for having these kind of conversations, because these are conversations that people don't have. So one, I want to vote for Portia for president. And don't laugh. Shout out to you as always, Jay, because you bring these conversations to the table that people avoid. Like it's cute to watch videos of bands crank up and stuff. Like I enjoy it because it feeds the inner ratchet band head that lives inside all of us. But some of this stuff we got to talk about. So one, y'all were talking about how do we bring truth. And I just recently went through a whole week's worth of undercover shade. I'm going to call it undercover shade, but it is what it is. We don't vet. What happened to vetting? Like, I got to shout out some people who are in Uncut because they like to vet. And if they do it right, it kind of brings that question like, so who are you and why are you talking about this? We don't vet. We take the loudest social media voice and we run with it. And the loudest voice is often not the correct voice, but whoever gets the most likes, whoever gets the most cap, they be capping, but we won't call them on them because people like them. Portia said, yeah. So, like, we don't vet even the most simplest of information. We don't vet, like, people degrees. We don't vet who they march for. We don't vet how long they march. We just go with it if they are sensationalized. So that question kind of bothered me. And I was like, it's real easy to find truth. Google, my nigga, is a friend. Google can tell you whether you got a degree in something or not. Google can tell you whether or not that person's certified to teach or not. Google can tell you whether or not their degree is in anything that has anything to do with music or not. But we don't, and I know that's like, first of all, to want to do it requires work on your end. And some of us, we just don't feel like having that much work. Like, it's like, I already got a 9 to 5. Why the hell do I want to do this? But before we like take people's words, like internally, we don't have to do this publicly. Just do a little Google search. Just do a little, like one question sometimes will solve the problem. There was this post that somebody went live and started talking about somebody. And I was like, this person got 3.7. I hope they're not talking about them. But nobody vets it. They're like, yeah, armchair band director. I was like, I don't think they know who they responded to. Because the masses get triggered by words that evoke an emotional response, because we are emotional beings, because that's what separates us from the monkeys. And then we respond to that emotional response. I'm an Aquarius, and by nature, we don't have feelings. So it's real easy for me, like, to say, this sounds cute, but let me just type in a word or two and find out. And then you F around and find out. You're like, oh, okay. I made a post. Aquarius love pretending that they don't know someone's lying. I don't know. We're cynical people. So truth, it's real easy. We don't call their band director. We don't send an email. And some people say, why am I going to do all that? Well, you did all of that to believe it. You did all of that. You responded. You shared the post. You liked it. Before you hit that like daddy, that's the only time I'm going to use the word daddy, because Lauren going to come for me. Before you hit that like daddy.
That's a lie, because I didn't hear you use daddy more than just like daddy. But go ahead.
Okay. I'm working on it. But before you hit the like, make sure that what you like is actually, let's just say, it's reflective of what you believe. See, we hit like because a trigger word comes across the screen. We say, yeah, get them. But we don't hit like after we've done our research, after we've talked to someone who could easily say, nah, that's not what they do. Nah, that's not really what they do. Nah, that's not what they did while they were here. Nah, they weren't really that when they were there. Nah, we don't want to hear the nah, because to be honest, we like the mess. We're not transparent with ourselves. We like the mess that some of these narratives come with. We like it. It makes us feel good. We messy people. And I'm not excluding myself from that list. We all have a trigger. If you talk about women issues, I know that's my trigger. So I'm going to be inclined to believe women over men. But then somewhere inside, I have to say, before I hit this like, let me vet it. Let me go see. Oh, this person didn't even in March for this program. Oh, this person ain't even holding that position. Oh, and then that will, I'll say, tame the tongue. Some of us, we really need our tongues tamed.
Pause.
But for real. And so, like, I'll see a viral post and I know some truth behind it. And I'm like, I ain't gonna say nothing, because the truth of the matter is, crabs in a barrel like to be in the barrel because there's comfort and safety in numbers. We sometimes look at the crab trying to get out and judge because we just mad that we ain't come up with the plan to get out our damn self. That's all I got to say about that.
I mean, you, first of all, I will say that you definitely said a mouthful. And then the way you put the period on there with that last one, absolutely true. Absolutely.
Well,
right? Is somebody clapping?
Quan, this is your fault. Quan, this is your fault. Because you started this. Quan, you started this.
Because you
so
know,
before we hit the like, before we hit the like, this is all of us, vet the information, but we're liking. Just
But I do.
just a little bit.
Question though. I have this question though when we talk about that, right? Like going to do a search. The question is, what are we looking for? Right?
Perspective.
Because there are some people that we can do searches on that may have things, may have degrees, but they may not align with the thing in which they are advocating for.
So where's the standard, bro?
Mm.
Then where's the standard? If the college level is supposed to be the creme de la creme, the upper echelon of thinking, the place where people go to become experts at that specific field, and you telling me that only at black schools, because you're not doing it at no PWI, bro. You're not about to be a director of bands and you have a degree that's in just because you got an MBA. And you don't have accredited music. You're not about to do that. So that means it's us. It's us.
We allow it. Only what we
We
allow.
allow it. Yes, there it is, Portia.
We ain't trying to be like the white folks. We do us.
Mhm.
This the culture.
Well, see, here's the problem with that though, because you wouldn't allow somebody with an MBA to perform open heart surgery. So what do they know? I'm sorry, I'm getting an MBA, one class away. Okay,
Portia for president.
one class away. I don't know not nothing to teach anybody about music.
Guess what?
To
Portia,
thy
but guess
own
what they
self
do?
be true.
But guess what they do on the back end? They're a person I may have, and I ain't throwing no shots at nobody, but I know it's like this across HBCU. A person I have an undergraduate degree, and then a master's in something else, and that person will just be on band staff, but they're not teaching the faculty. So my thing is, if a person is aspiring to be you, what is that saying about you? What is that saying about your college program? What is it saying, real talk, if you don't even know how to write a curriculum for the standards for the state that you're teaching in? So now you shortchange it. So now, in Maya's word, it becomes cyclical. So now he's a piss poor teacher because of you. The sins of the father fall on the son, and that's the problem with HBCUs overall.
But Quan, you just said it. Quan, you just said it. I like to, so when I try to assess whether or not I should listen or not, whether I should take their word as merit, I take it out of the things that I'm passionate about. We are all on this because we're passionate about band. If I take it and take those same words and put it into my life or death situations, my medical, and medical is the easy translation. If I say, would I allow a dentist? Y'all hear me now? You know where I'm going, Portia. Would I allow a dentist who was a C- student in their class? Because you can Google and you can find out. You can F around and find out these informations. Public knowledge. You can find out. If you care about yourself, you'll find out. If you're going to go into surgery, you're going to find out about the surgeon. I've had surgery twice, and I went to that medical online, whatever, rate the surgeon and find out how many people died under that knife. We don't do that for band. We don't do that. We don't look at how many people fail in the praxis. That's going to be a topic coming up. We don't look at how many people who can't get gainfully employed with that degree from that university. That might be popular. We don't look at those things. We look at, but they were in band and band was fired. We don't look at that in the same way we do about our care. We don't. So
keeping it a buck though, Crystal, everybody that's in that fire band ain't producing fire.
We know that. So that's when the vetting comes in.
So they getting along. But everybody ain't pulling their weight in every band program.
So group The group economics of band will never give you the full truth about the individual. I don't understand why we place so much emphasis on the merit of an individual in an ensemble. I could come from a Morgan State and be a fire musician and be able to slay everybody I sit next to. What we do is group economics, the band world. And then when we get into profession, we think by group economics, that person is skilled. No, they just knew how to fall in line with a group. That doesn't mean that they can perform surgery on my cancer when I'm sick. It just means that they can stand in a group of other surgeons and talk about it. God damn it, if I'm sick and I'm dying on a table, I want the person, I don't care what university they came from, who has a success rate of being able to operate on my type of situation. We don't vet on that level. We don't vet the individual, we vet the group. And it's sick, and it's going to keep getting us, Quan, the same result. We're going to continue to say, I ain't listening to so-and-so because they came from here. I'm listening to so-and-so because it came from there. They might have been fourth tier in their band. Fourth tier in their band. And then we listen to these fallacies. Fourth tier in that band, we say, well, they're probably better than first tier in the other band. No, you're stupid if you think that. Someone who graduates at the top of their class is the top of their goddamn class. Whatever class it is. If they all have to take the same test, let's just say praxis is going to be the test. Whoever passes praxis with the most knows the most information. Now, whether or not they can put in an application is another issue. But if I'm going to go on the table and someone's going to operate on me, I want the person with an A+ at that university, not a C-.
Well, I'm gonna say it like this, and I'm gonna put it out there to everybody that's on Talk That Talk family. You got people that's being hired more often because of their following on the internet. I think your wings ready. That's all I'm gonna say. You got people that got more likes and more followers on the internet, and that's the people that's getting these specific jobs and whatnot. And this not shade, but what I'm saying is, if we're speaking about diversity, equity, and inclusion, where's the equity for the people that really did the work? If Jay went to
There
Texas
is none.
so then we need to stop creating these mirages, because these provosts, these presidents, these department heads, they ain't no better than a football team hiring these quote unquote Ed Reed band directors who don't have public school experience, that never build nothing from scratch, and you give them these collegiate positions, and then you want them to make miracles. But then you're teaching the next generation that I could do shortcuts. That's what you're teaching them.
We're teaching the next generation to fail.
You heard what I said.
And I teach the next generation, and they sit in my classroom, and I'm like, you're failing because you believe that this facade and fallacy of what somebody is as a band director is the same thing as what someone does as a band director. I'm gonna be quiet.
I'm gonna be quiet because I'm driving too fast, because I'm getting to know it. 80% of being a band director is admin work.
Admin work.
I really wish I could. I prayed that I could find time to score study, that I could analyze my music. I could pray. I wish that all my schedule was on point. I wish that, real talk, that I didn't have to write a curriculum from scratch, that I didn't have to learn how to unwrap my standards from my state and plan out my entire year, or learn how to program my music, or understand what a prescribed music list is. They don't teach you that in college.
Unfortunately,
they don't teach you how to write drills in college,
which they should.
Don't teach you, and which they should. They don't. So some schools, you don't have orchestration and arrangement. That's why most of the arrangements are written out of the comfortability of the instrument. So then the timbre changes. They don't teach in all proper voicing and whatnot. But that's a whole different story. They're not teaching. They're not teaching, bro. And most people, once they get out, if what you didn't learn in college, if you're not going to professional developments, you're not learning still.
Amen.
Because you don't have time for that.
Now I need you to slow down, brother. All right. The speed limit is probably 40. You may be doing 70. I need you to calm down.
I'm not gonna say what I'm doing.
All right, but don't say what you do.
I'm slowing down.
But I need you to get home to my
Praise
sister's.
the Lord. Yes, slow it down.
Hey, bro, why you got the deep voice? Why you got the deep voice?
I don't know.
Hey, bro, I don't feel comfortable you speaking to me like this. But I'm good, though.
I was gonna say something, but I'm not even gonna say it. But no, all of you all are right, absolutely. And yes, Crystal's wings is ready, so she about to go ahead and get into those. It's always a practice, and we will see you Friday. All right, see ya. Appreciate you. Let's bring in our brother Simple Simon. What up with it?
Man, what's good with y'all, man? All right, so this is a good show.
First of all, good look on the slow mo. Good look on the slow mo.
I be trying. I don't be doing too much.
Fire.
Yeah. Good look on the
slow.
Yeah,
this day I'm at to charge. I'm at to charge BJ extra because this damn video longer than any field quarter I ever done. Edited that show long here, but great competition. Congratulations, Quan. And you're right. That school from Virginia. I ain't about to lie. When I heard him warm up, I was looking at everybody like, "Yep, it's about to happen." I just want y'all to know. Because I look at it. Matter of fact, I was arguing. What his name is? Y'all drum instructor at Norfolk.
Sean.
I was arguing with Sean down on the bus. I was like, I don't like them tonal bass drums. It sound whack to me. It sound corny. But then when I seen them get up there, and I was like, this is solo round. They could do a lot more with those tonals, and they could do it all. I said, oh shit. I said, I wish I could have called him right in there. Like, you're right. You're absolutely right.
I am a product of the South. I grew up with drop bass. I didn't care about no tonal bass drum. When I got to Norfolk and I seen them dudes lined up in the back, I was like, what the hell is this? This is trash. And I was like, yo, this is not sweet at all. But when we start actually playing tunes, and I realized how Mr. Bethea was using the section within the music, and then once they started getting into their personal sectional features, and they were using them tonals inside them sectional features, I was like, ooh, okay, all right, this is nice. All right, I can get with this now. So you gotta give it a chance. You gotta give it a chance. Change your life. I think, that year that we went to Honda, PV went to Honda, I think with the 2016, 2015, 2016, whatever it was. I think it was South Carolina State who was there. And during the banquet, it was like this percussion drum off. Or no, it was like this talent show. And I think it was either
at the banquet, probably. So yeah. We have a little talent shows at the banquet.
Yeah. So and they brought the drum line up there. And one thing, me and Hot, we sat back and we were like, man, we miss tonal bass drums because it's something about it, man, that just adds a little bit more flavor to it. Now, don't get me wrong, I like a drop bass. Don't get me wrong, but a tonal bass drum, it'll get you right, man, if it's used the right way.
Man, like them kids used it right, and it was so disciplined. I said, yeah. When BJ told me they were flying in from, they flew private too, and they got there the day before. So I don't know what they got, what kind of money they got going on in Virginia at that school, but yeah, and they said they come back.
What school is this?
Granby.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they really was good. But yeah, so great job, Quan. It's gonna be bigger next year. And yeah. I've been following this everything since the first day. Like, I follow him on Instagram when he went live. So I'm on the fence about it. I say both parties are wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like when he first went live, it was almost like almost like you got a bad taste in your mouth. Like he just thought he was bigger than the school. I don't care how you put it. His tone, his demeanor, it sound like, dang, like I'm knowing these people told you a lot of these problems before you got here. The part that really got everybody in uproar, some of the stuff that he was pointing out on that live the first day had nothing to do with Bethune-Cookman. It was like a bandit building across the street. Like, look at this. He was pointing out so much and doing entirely too much. Now I do agree. He's a passionate dude, you know what I'm saying? But I'm sure he did too much. So that's why I could say, pat on your wrist, Ed. Then look over to Bethune. You know what I'm saying? From the president getting up the old face line, because him and the AD was not on the same. I'm talking he lied. Like they had I follow off script, is a live channel on YouTube. A crippled equipment manager. Dude say he never could play football, so his years at Bethune-Cookman, he was a part of the football, the management team. He said that they didn't have the locker rooms got messed up in like right after the storm or whatever, so they never had locker rooms. They don't have no showers or whatever. There's no practice facility. When Roland Martin asked the president, interim president, fall guy, do y'all have showers? He gonna say, yeah, you lying. Then the AD get up there and next day,
yeah.
He rubbing his hand like a fat ass gerbil. We know he's lying. You know what I'm saying? We know he's lying. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, you don't lie on national TV like that. So that was that thing. But Bethune, I didn't like how y'all, granted he wasn't hired, and they never made it to Bethune defense. They never made an official statement said Ed Reed. The media took it and ran with it. But y'all try to sit him out on that duck mission by himself, acting like he wasn't hired. You gave him the keys, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? Y'all let him come in early so he can get his early recruits in so he could be ahead of the A-ball, but he wasn't hired. That's the only excuse y'all can come up with him. That kind of let me know that they wasn't on one accord. Now, back to Ed Reed. You had the perfect opportunity to take this full force. Back up a little bit. When you went on your rant and started talking about all the problems that they didn't have, you kind of try to be like Dion, but you're not Dion. It's a big difference. You know what I'm saying? Dion is more of a smile in your face, stab you in the back kind of guy in a sense. He can make it seem nice and he gonna get it done. Like he gonna finesse it. You're a nigga from New Orleans area. You know what I'm saying? You don't got no in between. You gonna tell it like it is, and nobody can BS you, which I like. But you seem like a madman on that. So for anybody who try to take you serious, your demeanor, not even on the Roland Martin show, the dude was trying to like calm him down and tell him to do something. He was like, no. And I'm like, bro, like you're not making your situation better. We know your passion and we can see it, but to the outside looking in, administrators like at Bethune or the private institution gonna say, oh, he was unfit, this, that, and third, because you're making yourself sensible. It's two parties. Another thing too, Bethune-Cookman, this whole sharing the helmet thing. Bethune-Cookman football team was on a 4 week straight, on the road 4 weeks straight, meaning like they never even came back to school type stuff, because when that storm happened, they would stand out of hotels, find the nearest city and stuff. So I ain't saying understand why they sharing the helmet, because that shit is just ridiculous on a highest level. But I could imagine like, okay, if y'all on the road, one of the helmet probably got lost, like it broke, you don't have no time to go get another one. I can understand how that may happen, but sure, kind of institution, y'all put to go find someone to buy an all black helmet and put a decal on it and have whatever. So I understand like missing equipment, like you know what I'm saying, or something like a kicking stand or something. But anyway, that's Bethune-Cookman. Y'all playing with fire, try to finesse it, and then got exposed on top of the students. Not all the issues. Fuck football. Y'all got bigger issues. These students over here tripping. You know what I'm saying? They just took this fire and tailgate on Ed Reed to start talking about their issues. You know what I'm saying? So I looked at Bethune-Cookman. I've been to almost every HBCU. Bethune-Cookman is one of the HBCUs I've never been to yet. And I was saying, I used to looking at, damn, Bethune-Cookman, like the band is nice. You know what I'm saying? Everything, it looked like it's going on and popping. But this, damn, like y'all, they already have football facilities over there? Like my middle school have better facilities than what they got. You know what I'm saying? So it's both parties. I don't want to make it seem like each person was wrong, but I'm gonna tell you, Bethune-Cookman, y'all down bad for like sitting up that line, kick y'all alumni association to the curb, and then one of the problems that I know we all have at HBCUs, like my question is to the past coach, to the past players, like why y'all ain't say nothing? I'm talking about players who played right after COVID or during COVID. The coach, the coach only been there 2 years. So like, why y'all ain't been say something about this? You know what I'm saying? Ed Reed did his wrong, but even though his wrong opened up a wound, you know what I'm saying? another thing is too, with our HBCUs, I know what's going on. When you say something wrong, you get fired. You get fired, and we all deal with it somewhere. Then we have a board that they can't lose their position until they die. You know what I'm saying? Or till they get reelected, whatever it is. Or sometimes governor pick the board, like I said, the governor pick our board or whatever. But we can have certain say so. But they're private institutions. Like I already know what happened was this. How it was. It was almost like when Ed Reed went live and did all this stuff. The big dog at the top had a problem with it. But they didn't know how to.
He's telling our business, and y'all better get him out of here.
It was almost like y'all gonna take that. It's like he punched you already. If you was gonna fight Ed Reed, you should have fired him the exact same day that he went live. You know, he said the exact same day he went live. You should have fired him. But he even apologized. You know what I'm saying? Like, granted, you know, this is a Christian school. We're supposed to forgive a little bit, right? That's the part that's getting me. Y'all talking about this music and stuff. You can let Pooh Shiesty and everybody come to your school. Uncle Luke can come to your school, but he can't listen to music and say a little curse word. It's football. It's like they did everything that was so petty to try to save them. Like that, their PR department just looking terrible. Nah, about that. You want something to say about that, Luke?
Well, the only thing I was really gonna say was once. I'm sorry. As a Christian, as a believer in Jesus Christ. Look at here. When the president led with the We Are Christian School, the number of Bethune-Cookman students that I know, I didn't even know Bethune was a Christian school.
Me neither. And when he led with that, I said he finna lie. Because you know that I didn't know they was a Christian school. I promise you I didn't. And then my thing is when you start out with We Are Christian School, you finna lie. Why is that relevant to this?
No, he told I know Roland Martin personally. You know what I'm saying? He said you can come up here and come live because Scotty and Usher. This week is about to be crazy because once Usher up there. And then listen, they got on the show today on the Oscar show I'm talking about, and she was one of the parents that went there and wanted answers from the AD. Now, what did these people? You mean to tell me her son was what this school is? One of them top schools in Florida. He started the quarterback who was gonna play for Bethune next year. They had to fly all the way out on their visit. And you make Ed Reed tell them that they can't play for the school now because you fired him. So he wanted them to make sure they tell the kids, person, all they offer these people for their travel was a $30 voucher to a restaurant at a hotel. You know what I'm saying? She told it all in the lives that they really up there doing some crazy stuff. And it's just sad. And I'm also disappointed. I'm thinking Bethune-Cookman, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, dang, like y'all have no party for the football team. You wonder why they can ask for.
Might not have liked the delivery. I do believe in professionalism when it comes to work, but some of this needed to come out now because look at how all these students that showed up. Like, oh, it been some BS.
Hey, I got a question, y'all. I got a question, y'all. I got a question, y'all. Do y'all think? I wonder how much money did Bethune-Cookman get? The band got paid for that Netflix show. Because it's still on Netflix.
But
you know what?
When you brought that up, Quan, I've been thinking about this since I watched these interviews, right? I wonder, did they say anything to Donovan Wells when he was caught cussing that kid out in band practice on that video when he wasn't playing when he wasn't playing that trumpet part right? Did they go to Donovan Wells and talk about it was a Christian school?
I'm so scared.
No, because he run that school. He do what he want to down there. You put on a documentary that you didn't have enough flag uniforms for girls you accepted to a team.
I don't even want to bring the band. I don't want to get the band in no trouble. I don't want to bring the. Let's leave the only positive thing that we think is going on because let one of them band members say something. Just you think hell's gonna break out. You know what I'm saying? So I
don't want to say that, but I think our point is that you can, to me, keep that same energy.
Exactly.
If you're a Christian school, you're a Christian school. Period. Like, I don't understand. When he started with We Are Christian School, I knew he was finna lie. I just knew it. I didn't even know Bethune was a Christian school. I won't be 100 with you.
I had no clue. When he started with that, I was like, oh, nah.
They said the dude, the football, because we always, the dude got some fire uniform football team. They say they keep their uniforms in the storage unit about 20 minutes away from the school. And they say they every day that this is a crippled dude who on a live saying this. And he was like, every day when they want a uniform selection, they gotta go out and they gotta bring the uniform like back. All you know how much of a hassle it is to drop out cameras, bringing all stuff in the storage lane. What are you guys doing, bro? It's really all over the place, and it's just sad. Like, dang, like, come on, Bethune. And like I said, I didn't like how Ed Reed came off the first. If you saw live initially, I was disgusted, and when they fired him, I was like, yeah, stand on principle. But then I started thinking about it with them, like, it was almost like they had to force y'all hand to fire him. Like, what's really going on? Didn't all the stuff that coming out? I'm like, yeah, Ed, you was wrong.
Because at first, they wanted the Deion experience at that school, but somebody said he exposed too much, so we got to get rid of him. But see, what the problem is it was too late. He had already, because the students, I know if I was a student, like, oh, he done started something here. It's all this attention. We're going to tell it all.
One of them students said he did more. He did more in 2 weeks than they did his whole 3 years there. Then when he started telling that the uniforms get put in the shed, they had mold in the uniforms, they get wet in the shed. He was just exposing so much stuff, and it's just to the fact, like, damn, like, bro, like, it was almost like, I don't like how y'all trying to say he wasn't officially hired, but you gave him keys to a school that got students on there. He could have been madman, you know what I'm saying? Well, what else he got keys to?
I said that though. I said that he was wrong. Yeah, he wasn't an official contracted employee, but you letting this man ride around your cart. You let that man on that campus. You let that man recruit. You even said it. You allowed this man to go with some of your assistant coaches to go recruit. So you already had him in the process.
So that's excuses, null and void. But
yeah, them saying he wasn't hired. That's a scapegoat at this point. That's a avoidance tactic.
He's some weak ass scapegoats, is what I'm saying.
It is. So because why was you sending him out to recruit? Why? Because he was Ed Reed. But you liked having Ed Reed, or the possibility of having Ed Reed when it was going to be beneficial to you. But when Ed Reed, in his own way, is holding you accountable, now we got to get him out of here.
Typical.
He still stands to this day. He a coach for him, and this, that, and third. But it's too late at this point. I really could keep going on about why they just made me so mad.
But they don't need a coach. They need to fix the problem. They need to. If they get a coach, where they gonna play at? Where they gonna shower at?
Where they gonna practice it? Now the world know y'all ain't got what's going on. So what's about to happen?
But here's the problem. Right? The same thing that I said, or the same problems that we have as band directors, right? The same thing, same situation with the band director who ain't gonna take $40,000. Guess what? There's someone who will, because whoever they do hire is gonna inherit all them problems that Ed Reed didn't expose.
And then it perpetuates the narrative that Ed Reed was the problem, because we got somebody that's willing to show up and smile every day in this bullshit.
Yep. Because for anybody who's willing to have the integrity to say that I will not deal with this, there's always going to be somebody who's going to say, well, I do it. I will do it. Eyes do it. You know, it's always going to be.
We'll make it work for the students, but is it making it work for the students? It's not. It's not. Share helmets is the nastiest thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
Nigga, listen, when I heard that shit, I was like, they were like, they're on the road. The first thing I thought about, I know y'all don't have the proper equipment because I ain't got an equipment truck following y'all. You know what I'm saying? Every game I had to get my fucking helmet so we got a big head. So I'm thinking about, if my head the same size as yours, that's the same size as yours, and we sharing a helmet. First of all, the sweat. Oh my God, staph infection. Do y'all understand what that is? Like, they used to tell about staph all the time in football. One of my partners called staph. When I tell you, like, I got so scared. I said, how you do? Like, I don't know. You don't know, man. I walk around there, motherfucking, don't touch me. Hey, what's up? Hey, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, it sucks that they had to happen to Bethune-Cookman, but it's crazy that all it took for y'all to make one mistake and all these problems came out. Now, what y'all gonna do about a student problem? Because they talking about the people don't hear their voices, this, that, and third. They want the whole board to be removed. This a private school, so how that's gonna work? Like, it's about to get worse. I'm telling you, this just
plus in previous years, they say they were going to shut down the school before.
They got accreditation for 10 years now.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, it was jeopardized
Like it's the track team, they're complaining now. Like you got people boycotting, like they have protests going on all on campus right now. It's bad, bro. It's bad.
They had a straightaway. They ain't had a full track back there. Like I think it was like 80 yards. How you want a track team to practice on 80 yards? You can't even turn the curve. Like what we doing? We playing. We playing tag in this motherfucker. Like what's going on? You know what I'm saying? 80 yard stretch. They ain't shit. You know, ain't no football field. You know what I'm saying? So like, bro, I don't know what's going on, man. But I don't know. But I want to touch on something else that y'all said when y'all was talking about Kwame rambling. He make me lose my topic. Stay on subject, like Luke be saying. But when you was like the people who don't have like the qualifications, but they internet famous and they'll get a job over how they qualify a person. Like what's crazy is that was kind of hitting home, Quan, because I'm not gonna act like even in here in certain areas, I didn't got offered to be a high school band director at multiple schools. Multiple. Now, granted, I have a degree, you know what I'm saying, but it ain't no music certification. I can see some elementary school, but it's the fact, like, damn, like, y'all as such a scarce, y'all ain't going out and find, like, qualified candidates, but y'all asking me because y'all know I have a name and a voice in the music world. I appreciate it, but it's like, damn, like, so that's all you gotta do really, for real, is have some type of popularity, and people is gonna understand your narrative, you know what I'm saying? Now, they can go twofold too, because I know I hate to say a degree and everything, because some of the most talented people I know don't have degrees. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to music, I'm from New Orleans, so I understand. Luke, you understand? But it's like, damn, like I don't like when the people with the degrees or with the qualifications bring these people on their staff and try to sun them at certain times. Like y'all see happen all the time. They may have like a assistant that's working with a band, and the band respects the assistant more than the head band director or whatever. And when it comes down time, like your power strike, you kind of like try to shun him. It goes. I don't know why I thought about that, but she was like, one of y'all said something about I aspire to be you. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I don't care if you have the qualification, you gotta recognize talent and be able to motivate the person to go get these certifications. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's almost like how many times y'all see somebody graduate from high school, talented as hell, and come back and be helping the high school band when the band director should motivate them to go be better, go to school. You know what I'm saying? That's why I get that from. So I don't know what y'all was saying, but I see that happen a lot. Like, damn, like you got him coming back, he's not even 20 yet. You know what I'm saying? He's helping your high school band. You should be motivating him. Like, I don't care how much you need his help. You should be motivating him to go back to school. And I see that happen a lot. But then it turns when that person is more liked, you'll try to like little boy him in front of the band, or like, you know what I'm saying? I'll try to treat him bad the whole time. He helping you keep a job. So I see it full circle on both sides, but it's sad that like, you know, the qualified people don't, or like the people who, like you said, Christians have a college job, don't even get a chance because she's not popular. You know what I'm saying? Or she's not like well known. So that's what I want to say about that.
So first thing I'm gonna say is I know you are in a lot more, you've been in a lot more spaces to see certain things that I haven't, because for me, I don't really see that type of thing a lot. So I really can't, you know, make a statement either way. The only thing I can do is talk about from my own personal experience and my own anecdotal experience, which I know that's how I operate. I can tell you when I was teaching in Beaumont, I had a young man who was coming to help out, and I was just the assistant at the time, but he was coming to help out the band and writing music, and he was up there like every day. Mind you, he was in school, supposed to be, but he was up there every day. And so one day I pulled him aside. I said, "Hey man, let me ask you a question. What's going on with you in school?" And he was like, "Well, I'm not in right now because of da 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 blah blah blah." I said, "Hey, listen to me, bro." And he was in school and he had become KK Psi, so I could not only talk to him as an older person to a younger person, but also as friend. And I was just like, "Look, bro, I need for you to stop coming around. I need for you to go get your business. Take care of your business and get your degree. Because then when you come around, not only will you have the education to back it, but then you'll also be putting yourself in a position to be able to actually get an actual contracted job, so that you can really be able to be a change. That's how I operate. I will do that with any student. You know, I had students who were coming around to help the percussion section who were graduates of that school. And this is when I was also working at PV. I came to those kids and said, hey, listen, I'm tired of seeing you come around here and you have no degree. You're not even in school. You graduated 2 years ago and you got chops, but you ain't doing nothing. So you're going to come in here next week and you're going to audition and we're going to try to get you a scholarship. Now, mind you, getting a scholarship for percussion at PV was a little difficult during that time because unless you were a specialty person, we already had a snare line full. So you had to be the best of the best of the best. But I'm going to do my best to make sure that you have the opportunity to get into somebody's university, because I'm tired of seeing you sitting around here, and I'm glad that you're helping. I don't have a problem with that. But what are you doing for yourself? So that's why I can only operate off of my own anecdotal experiences, because that's just the person that I am. I have not necessarily seen that in other spaces. If that is happening, I think it's a travesty, because I think that, one, if you have people coming in who are helping you and you're not motivating them to be better by going to finish their degree or going to get their degree and putting them in places where they can be better, then you are a terrible person. And that makes me question what your integrity is and where you came from.
I would just like to add this. This is my whole point, and the reason why I said this. I think about the bigger picture overall, and let's be frank and honest. At the end of the day, when you go through a music degree at the undergraduate level, you don't learn, in my opinion, you don't learn 60% of what you really need to learn to be a director at any level, middle school or high school, because there's so many like tangible things that you just don't know. How to make a curriculum, because 9 out of 10 you won't have one. How to select books, how to select music, literature, so forth and so on, right? And so what happens is you go through that level. Then we're not even speaking about the certification process, which is a beast in itself. Most music educators from HBCUs, not all, but most, don't graduate certified. And if your education department is trash, most times what you do is you graduate as a performance and then you enter yourself into a teaching certification program. Then they really don't be having material like that for music majors either. So you really on your own. Take it a step further. If you are trying to teach at the collegiate level and you get to that collegiate level and you have a master's in something else outside of music education, music arts, so forth and so on, you can't even teach entry-level courses. So all of this knowledge that you may have that just may be your raw talent, you can't even give it to the next person, really, because you're not in the classroom. So that's what I'm saying. Like, now you're shortchanging the craft of music of which you decided to teach. If you have like a master's in administration, yeah, that's cool. But you can't even teach your music theory. You can't even teach counterpoint if that's your thing and if that's your niche. So in my opinion, when people do those things, you're really shortchanging the craft of music. Not knocking nobody who don't have a degree, because you got a lot of people who are outstanding musicians that are great teachers that just may not have that degree or whatever. But we're talking about at that level, what are the standards? Because you cannot go to a PWI and do none of those things. And it's not about comparing yourself to white folks, but it's the whole point of, where are our standards? Why do we have to do the shortcuts? My thing is, with the experience you have right now, Justin, you could teach a real talk, an entry or a college level course on marketing and different things like that. Nobody's not going to ever like question you for that. But if you're telling me I'm not going to teach people to go into another profession of it, that's when it gets like iffy. Because now what you're telling me is I can do shortcuts to get where I want. And in education, it's already bad enough. Right. That's all I'm saying.
But here's the thing about it, Quan. Everything that you said had so much merit and so much truth to it. So much truth to it. But the other part of that is this. Some people just want to be band directors. They don't want to teach.
They don't want to be educators. That's a thing.
My claim to fame.
But I thought that was a teacher. I thought that was the teacher part.
It's
but it is, right? But like, I just want to be able to go in, write drill, if I write drill, arrange if I arrange. I'm gonna say it like a New Orleans person. Get in front of the band and wave my hands, motivate, yell, put it together, sit out, get on the field during the performance, put my hand on my hips and say, I did this, and then be done with it.
But
I don't want to go teach a theory class. I don't want to counterpoint. I don't want to go teach. I don't want to teach a methods course. I don't want to do none of it. I just want to be a band director. I was in high school and I remember seeing my high school band director do it. I remember being motivated by my college band director, and that's all I want to do. So me going to get a master's in music education, I'm good on that. I can go in and get my admin degree, and because I know I can get hired by this HBCU with an admin degree because of just my name notoriety, and because I got videos of me waving my hands and kids getting hyped, guess what? I can be the band director I always wanted to be, and I ain't got to be in the classroom.
I guess so. I guess with that, because I know for sure, like, I mean, I don't on a collegiate level. I mean, that's I know it's kind of hard, but I guess to be like a band director and don't like have credentials, I guess like a head band director, but assistant maybe. I don't know. I don't see how that's possible.
Just they got him, bro. Like they got him.
Okay, well, shit. Y'all know better than me. Fuck. Every band director.
They got
every band director I know
here like that.
Head,
bro. Head band director. They got head band directors around here with no masters of music, bro.
Bro, like, you know about it. I'm gonna stay out there. I don't even want to, like, God damn, like, but I mean, maybe I'm one of the ones that if I, because what I about to ask y'all was, y'all was like, this band people who just be band directors. I guess what's wrong with just wanting to be a band director? You know what I'm saying?
Because I'm gonna tell you, this is why.
Depending on level, high school, no. Because I mean, you gotta teach the kids.
No, but even at the high school or collegiate level, the thing about it is, most times in HBCUs, not all the time, but most times, if you're a head band director, you're the director of bands. So meaning you have different ensembles that you should be ensuring that all of these kids get the experience. But if all you know is marching band, how can you teach me concert band? If you never picked and played literature with a bassoon, how you gonna teach me that? So what you do now is you limit a person, limit a person pocketbook. So instead of getting 2 bags, because I'm gonna put it like this, and I'm gonna be quiet. To receive your stipend in my district right now, you have to have a fall ensemble, which is marching band for the most part, and one in the spring. You cannot take marching band in the spring with you. So you literally could lose potentially $30,000 if you don't know how to put a concert band together.
So my thing is, so who do we fund? School? You know what I'm saying? Because the school hiring people. Okay, so now that we said we fought in the school, so we fought in the school because they're making it less.
I wouldn't just blame the school.
Yeah, but I'm faulting the school and the person. I'm
I ain't
faulting
gonna
the
fault the
school.
person either.
Oh, you can't fault the person. If I'm out here, maybe I don't know, bro. I never thought that far to be a college band. You tell me a college band directors that don't have the qualifications, but the school hired them. So outside looking in, from a person like me, if you got hired by a university and they saw fit in you, I don't even know what is it. I don't know, bro. Like that's I can't say it's hard because you're telling me otherwise. You know what I'm saying, but like that's crazy. I guess you fought the school. I would be blaming the person. The person did what they had to do to get the job. I think you started holding these schools accountable, but that just go back to they don't care about the arts. They talking about it. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with what you just said, Justin, and I guess I'm gonna say the thing that you may disagree with. I definitely fault the school. By far, I fault the school. I don't know if I fault the person to that much degree.
Me either.
But I put a lot of the blame on social media.
Oh, Lord.
I mean, that's why I said you're not gonna agree, but
because it's giving people validity that never would have had it before.
I mean, it's the truth, right? Like I said, and I think I said it on this show. Either I said it on the show or I said it to Quan on the phone. I know a situation where my boy was fired, not because he wasn't doing a good job, not because he wasn't creating great music educators. It was because the president wanted the band to look like Southern. And that was the actual conversation. That is not a
your president had a hell of a model.
I mean,
what's wrong with me like Southern?
But I'm just saying, the president of the university wanted a band that looked like Southern, specifically because they were going to play Southern that upcoming year.
And they fired him.
They let go of the head band director and the assistant band director.
So the people who they replaced them, how that program going now? How that program look now? Do they look like Southern?
So I will say this: they don't look like Southern, but they do look better or different than the previous
directors.
Yeah,
but they have a different type of support though too.
They do.
Cause they lit, basically. They probably entertainment in the motherfucker. But I get it. I'm not gonna knock that. So it's some Dr. Lee shit, like Dr. Lee versus the other guy, Morris Brown. I probably was Morris Brown, but I get it. You know what I'm saying? But that's fucked up. Damn, they see one like Southern. Lord, I mean,
and I am not lying. That is, I talked to that guy, that assistant band director, personally. And had multiple. I was like, dude, are you sure? Like, that's really what happened? And he was like, yeah. Okay. All right.
You understand what it okay, and that's I get on their ass and they cult following.
But the truth of the matter, the cult following. The truth of the matter is right now the social media and what you do, not and this is no knock on you, so I don't want you to think that. But social media, what you do, what you all as videographers do, all of that, it puts that energy out there, and that is what everybody is gravitating to. And these presidents are looking at that. Think about it, man. A president
I got some people some jobs, so I'm not. I had a bad two band already person tell me
if you can admit that, just think about it, man. The president of a university who has a program, who may have great music educators in their fine arts department, but their band is not getting the notoriety of some other schools, then guess what? I want my band to look like that. I want my band to get that notoriety. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna hire somebody who is waving their hands in front of some high school band that looks just as hype and just as great as these college bands. I'm gonna go get him. Well, what kind of degree he got? He ain't even got a master's degree. He got an undergrad.
Man, you're not about to tell me that you said he didn't have a master's. He got a pretty much a master's.
I'm not talking about this situation. I'm just saying.
Damn, bro, that's fucked
up. Or he doesn't have a music education degree. A master's in music education, but guess what? He can produce what I want him to produce. I ain't even gonna put him on class. He's just gonna be a staff member. I'm not even gonna make him a university. He's just gonna be on the staff. He good.
I don't know, bro. It's like, okay, shit. I'm gonna say it this way, because I like myself in a person. Because if I'm a person, they got hired because I'm that guy that your person.
Go ahead. I'm sorry for that.
If I'm that person that your president wanted to hire, because I'm lit and I can recruit a band in this motherfucker, I'm sorry I was given this talent, and I'm sorry I was given this talent. The other person, what was they doing for? Was the other person that bad, or like was they was the band stagnant? Because there's a reason why the band stagnant. Doc said the other night you have to adapt with the time. You know what I'm saying? So maybe he might have been good, but he wasn't adapting. These schools weren't paying now.
Nah. It might have been the admin support from the beginning.
That could be
it
true.
Might have been that I don't have what it takes to pull off Southern successfully. So I'm doing the best for your program. But this person that is asking you to make that happen doesn't understand what it would take to even do that.
That's why I asked the question, how that band looking right now? Are they close to Southern? Did they appease the president firm? Do he regret his decision?
Yeah.
Okay,
well, yeah, but I still think that kind of goes with what Quan said. The admin support may be a little different due to the fact of they're willing to support what they want.
I'm gonna say what's so wrong with Southern. That's a damn good model.
But can't nobody else beat them. That's dumb.
Well, that's a Southern thing. I'm not even putting it on a Southern thing. I'm just saying the fact of if an admin looks online, and even if you look at just your top 3, your top 4, top 5, whatever we want to say when the number is, whatever, if an admin looks at that and say, well, why can't we have it? And they look at, whatever is there, and they say, well, they not producing that. But what if they are producing something? What if the graduation rate from the music education department is high? What if they're actually putting out?
President need to be fired.
I ain't gonna deny that either.
Because you're not about to tell me, bro. Like the fact that he fired, well, the band directors are getting fired. You're not producing. I'm on the fence with that. You're not producing, or you're not. Especially if you had the resources. Now that could be twofold too, because the president probably you want this man to have his product, but you ain't providing him with the resources.
Exactly.
That's messed up. That's messed up. But I'm not gonna act like some of these dudes ain't getting fired because they just being lazy, they just being stagnant. You know what I'm saying? Quan and Luke, I would hate to be out. I go again here I go. People like y'all. I'm not gonna do a better job to have these people out here in these streets, right? But I'm not gonna get the opportunity. Why? Because either you got a master, y'all qualify the temperature, y'all got y'all master stuff. Y'all can do a lot better than these band directors out here.
You asked me, did I have my masters?
No, I'm saying to teach at a college level. Of course, you use a college band director. Listen, I see it back, I get it. So you need to apply, my guy. Go apply to some of these positions.
But here's the thing though, for us in the process of applying, because we don't have a large like social media following like that.
Yeah,
we would. Oh, I mean, I'm not tripping. We would have to go to we would have to go to a university that 9 out of 10 we would have to build from scratch. From the bottom.
Because
like if I just went through the SWAC real quick, what opportunity will we get in the SWAC? Outside of PV, my alma mater, right? Outside of that, if that was God's plan, would I be able to go to TSU?
Right now, they don't count because they're new on the scene. So like they got a whole new situation.
It's yes or no question. Let's be real.
No. Let's be real.
Right now,
as a
right now, TSU, no, they got a whole new system over there. So I would say no out the gate. They got their rejuvenation. Like
okay, cool. So Southern University.
No.
Okay. Alcorn.
Maybe.
Tight.
Come on, bro. Come on.
Alcorn they don't have a
they got a whole they got a whole Alcorn staff just about, except for the one young man that's from that was at Alabama that graduated.
Yeah, him and the band director not from there. He's from Southern. There's one, but I guess you'll say
he not leaving though.
Oh no, he ain't leaving. No.
Like he not leaving, right?
Probably so, they got that money to pay. You know what I'm saying? They don't. The same thing. I ain't know Mr. Batan and fucking Miss Whitman on the 2 band directors. That's on staff there. That's crazy. Like when I found it, I was stuck. I'm like, anything somebody else had to say, I'm defending now. Like they making that happen with 2 people. Like that's really getting paid for. You know what I'm saying? So like that's another thing too. So like you probably won't be able to get an opportunity at these other schools because they don't have enough money to pay for extra staffers. You know what I'm saying? So like, and think about, I don't even open that kind of worms, but because that's gonna wow. But back to what I was saying, they might not have enough money, but I do get what you're saying because the way band is, I like shit. Alabama A&M, I can't think of one. Maybe Valley. And they got some new shit going over there too now. So
I say that, all tight. That ain't gonna happen in Valley because he's only what you call it still there, right? Or did they just hire somebody else?
They got some new stuff going on in Valley.
Yeah.
I'm not. I can't say.
So in most cases like that, you only gonna hire either A, somebody you know, or B, somebody who
graduated,
who has a notoriety.
I don't see nothing wrong if the person got what it takes. If they got the proper credentials, yes. If they got what it takes and the proper credentials, yeah. You told me Humble got fired because damn.
But that's the thing, right? We were using Quan as the example.
Quan got credentials? All right. So what would be so wrong going to a new program and building them up? Look at that, you got to in the field. They got a lot of small colleges that want bands, that have money, that will support the situation. So why is it you had to go to a big program like that?
Yes, I'm gonna tell you from personal experience, right? So, when I started teaching, so my first ever teaching experience, right, was in St. Croix, U.S. Virgin Islands, and I started teaching there, building up a middle school program, rebuilding a high school program. Came to Beaumont, rebuild a middle school program, helped to rebuild a high school program, was in the rebuilding process at Prairie View in 2012, went to HISD, rebuilt a middle school program there, went to a charter school and rebuilt a middle school program there, came to Dallas and rebuilt a middle school. Why would I want to get to a university and do the exact same thing that I've been doing? I don't want to rebuild. I want to who would want to just walk into a situation where they have to continuously rebuild, specifically on a university level? Sometimes you want to be able to walk into a situation and say, I got this. All right, I want to be able to add my flavor in here and we just keep moving on. Especially with somebody who has, one, the years of experience that I have, two, the degrees that I have. I mean, let's just keep it a buck.
I feel you on the rebuild. I stopped building a long time ago. I feel you. I would want somebody like you on my staff that definitely know how to fucking rebuild. But I understand it's your time to get your flowers, is basically saying. You didn't put in the hard work already. You want to walk into a situation where you could become give immediate effect in doing the groundwork. I get that. But another thing too, I won't say like just now you think about the schools. It ain't really that many. I ain't saying many schools, but like if you're in Quan case, it ain't really that many schools to pick from. Many options. You ain't really got that many. I guess prominent HBCUs or big dog HBCUs that y'all would want to go to. It's only what 9 this way.
But the truth of the matter is, and we had been in here for 3 hours, by the way. So and I think Portia then dozed off like twice. But therein lies the problem, right? Because that kind of goes back to some of the things that Quan was talking about. You're looking at people, and I'm not even literally kind of saying I'm throwing myself in the hat. I'm not saying that because my biggest fight is going to be for all music educators at the end of the day. But you look at people like myself and Quan and other people who have these degrees who aren't getting these jobs because many, not all. I want to make sure I preface that by saying not all, but there are many people who are in these positions that don't have the degrees that we have.
And they get full-time pay.
Well, I don't know about that.
Yeah, you see how I don't know what that pay looks like.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm pretty sure y'all don't want these positions that they getting. Y'all want a position that getting paid. I'm pretty sure y'all these damn credentials. Y'all should be getting somebody to take. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times, I know a lot of assistant directors. You know what I'm saying? They'll start out. You know what I'm saying? Just helping. You know what I'm saying? They're just coming around. If you give me the opportunity to even fucking write for a program, I'm gonna damn do it to show like. This is my resume builder, but you passed that stage already. You have college experience already. So I think let's fault the schools because they're not supporting these music programs. Because that's way if they had enough money to get these budgets, I'm pretty sure y'all could fall into some other program. These bands have enough budgets. Yeah, it's probably gonna be enough for real. You know what I'm saying? Like they had enough money. You just told me TV got 4 damn new engineering buildings and Band didn't get one yet. You know what I'm saying? Like I just blame the school for that. You can't fault the people who get picked or selected because imagine if they had 10 qualified newly graduates. They graduated 3 years ago, got their masters and all this education stuff they need, right? Where they gonna go at? I got 10. Right now, if I want, where they gonna go? Ain't that many HBCUs to pick from. We just went through all of them. I guess they gotta go venture out and do their own thing, right? Because Baylor just for years. So how would that work? You ever thought about it like that? 10, let's say 10 young guys who just graduated college, got all the certifications they need. Where are they gonna go? I think we just need to start building more spaces. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, now that's a viable argument. It is. That's a viable argument.
And then, that also goes my theory too, because what I'm starting to see, like Portia pointed out, like all these auxiliaries and stuff, not too. This past season was a season of the bands that don't get talked about. You know what I'm saying? I feel as though there's room for other bands to come and grab them spots now. And with that being said, like if I'm as good as I say I am, you know what I'm saying, I can go to one of these schools and help contribute. Now, getting the band big and shit like that is a whole other subject. I guess I go that popularity stuff you're talking about. Or the proof is in the pudding. But I don't know, man. I don't have any certification. I never looked at it like how y'all getting deprived like that. I never thought that's messed up. You know what I'm saying? I never looked at it like that. I never thought like, damn, these people got more certifications than people out here getting jobs because they're popular. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, bro. It's crazy.
It's all good. I mean, I appreciate the conversation. I mean, like I said, we went on a little bit long. My bad, Portia and Maya. I know y'all sleepy, and Portia ready to snatch the wig off and go to bed. So we're gonna have to shut it down, Justin, man. But I always appreciate the conversation, bro. 100%.
Gotcha, man. So all right, man. I'm gonna see y'all next week. I guess next week. Yeah, next week.
You going to Team here, right?
Doubt it. I don't know. I'm kind of tired. I need some rest. You going?
Yeah.
It's too late to register?
No. I registered last week. Me, Quan, and Rick gonna be there for sure.
Not Rick. Rick ain't come Chicago. You know what I'm saying? Nah, send me the information. Quan, text to me again. I'm gonna see if I can pull it again. I might can't go all the days, but I come to.
Hey man, look. You ain't never been to Team EA with me. We learned a lot, but we have a lot of fun, bro. So
don't tell me that. They got where is it? Austin?
No, this is San Antonio.
San Antonio. Let me tell you this. Now we talk about it offline. Let's not have some fun in Atlanta. The Flames don't owe me a thing. That's what I'm gonna tell you. Oh, Portia, what we doing when we come out here? You got time? You got time to turn up? Because Atlanta is where is at. I'll let y'all know. You know what I'm talking about?
Well, we'll be in Atlanta.
I'm gonna be honest with y'all. He talking about next weekend.
Oh yeah, that's tight.
Justin, I'm tired. If I could send them off and stay in Virginia, I would.
Y'all coming at Thursday, right?
I'm tired. I really am.
Need a vacation, Portia. That's all.
I do bad.
Well, we gonna try to make that Atlanta trip a vacation. We gonna try to make it happen. Not next week, Justin. We talking about something else.
Yeah, but Atlanta trip coming up.
Huh? Yeah. Yeah. We working.
All right, Quan, some of the information, man. Holler at me.
All right, bro.
All right, bro.
Man, this has been a long episode. We ain't had an episode this long since Rick was on here. Good Lord. Man, this has been super dope. I'm not even going to waste a whole bunch of time. Maya, any final thoughts, anything you got for the culture? Besides sleep.
That's a big one. I mean, what's done in the dark will come to the light. That's all I got to say. Take care of your business. Clean out your dirty laundry for somebody else. Clean it out for your child. And that's just on period.
That's the sleep conversation. Quan, any final thoughts? Anything you got for the culture?
Hey, we're selling double good popcorn right now. So
you're supposed to give me the joint for it.
Okay, I'll give it to you. And my boy Luca sent it out and we'll post it on our platforms. But we're trying to raise these funds to go to DC. Keep us in your prayer so we can go visit Norfolk and other universities around the DMV area. So be on the lookout for those fundraisers throughout the year.
I got to figure out a way to go on that trip. I'm trying to go home to Norfolk.
We'll talk about it, bro. I think I got you.
Word. All right. Portia, any final thoughts? Anything you got for the culture? Sleep.
Yeah. Lots of oh my God. When I say I can't wait to take this wig off, oh my gosh. It's real, okay. It's okay to stand up for yourself. You have to advocate for yourself. You have to be your own biggest advocate, your own biggest cheerleader. And no matter what it is, no matter who it is, I love HBCUs. But if it's wrong, call it out. And that way things will happen. And as long as you're doing the right thing, God will look out for you.
I love that. You when you ended it on God, yes sir. All right. I will definitely say this, man. This has been a super dope episode. I also want to say, yes, I am going to TMEA. Just because I'm not in the classroom, that doesn't absolve me from being a music educator. I'm still a music educator. I still want to make sure that I am in all facets being or surrounding myself with as much as I possibly can, specifically now that I'm not in the classroom. So yes, I will be going to TMEA. But other than that, man, this whole Ed Reed situation, man, all I'm going to say is, I don't mind you putting the truth out there, but there's a right way and a wrong way to do it. And sometimes you gotta hold that L when you take it. And so, it is what it is. I think that Brother Amos just said that there was another Ed Reed interview that just posted on the HBCU Game Day page. So if y'all want to go check that out, you can. I know some of y'all going to be asleep. Also, man, hit the tip cup, man. I put a link inside of the chat to go ahead and hit that tip cup. Give us a tip, man. We ain't gonna shy away from no tips. Go ahead and shoot us $1, and we will always accept it. Also, make sure you click the like button on the way out and subscribe to the Passion Is Network. If you're watching this on playback, click that like button as well. I have no problem with it. Other than that, I have nothing else. You ain't got to remind me because I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm gonna make sure that I'm gonna turn this thing off as soon as we get out of here. Other than that, man, you guys have a great night. This has been great. See you all next week.